Hello? Hello, is anyone there? Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure if I have it set up right. The graphics are a little funny. Hello, is the audio too loud? Am I even live? Let's see. I think it's going. Oh, there we go. Wait. Hold on, I'm checking my other computer. You might hear an echo. Sorry, 1 second. Hello?
I think it's going.
Yes. Made it. Woo, hey everybody. Hey everybody. Hi. How's it going? Wow, I'm sorry. I'm kind of caught off guard here. Konnichiwa, minasan. Holy shit. Hi everybody, and everyone watching. Welcome to the Eric Abroad live stream for today. Hopefully this stream is a little less janky and a little less crazy than the ones I've done in the past where we kind of had to figure things out on the fly and it didn't work. This time, I was really scared that was going to happen again today because my pocket Wi-Fi in my house, the one I've been using in Japan, it's pretty fast. It stopped working today. Like the one day I need it, it stopped working. So I've never used an internet cafe before. That's where I'm at. You can't, you just see a wall. Maybe later I can like spin the computer, but the way it's all hooked up right now, I don't want to move anything. I basically have my own little room here with really, really fast internet. So if you guys can see everything, I think you guys can see the chat going. Let me know if there's any issues. But otherwise, hello. Man, okay, just give me like 3 seconds here. I got my coffee and some water. I just need to like breathe and collect my thoughts because I don't even know what I'm gonna like. I thought I was gonna be prepared a little more, but I literally got the graphics and everything set up the minute that this started. So again, this is a live stream, so we're a little bit more relaxed here. So to anyone watching, if you're new to my channel and you have no idea who I am or don't care about who I am, I would encourage you to please check out my other videos and my main content outside of the podcast. The podcasts and the live streams are kind of just like a supplement, kind of extra thing that I do on the stream or on the my YouTube channel. But my main channel is traveling and experiencing and discussing Japan. And in my last video, I had just announced that I recently officially acquired and have the contract for a teaching position here in Osaka, Japan, which is planned to start this fall, assuming that there's no issues with my working visa. That's kind of my last and final difficult and I'm a little nervous for it, but I don't think it's a hard thing. I always get nervous with like official documentation that there's going to be something I missed or, something weird with graduation in school, because I graduate next term in June. And then hopefully we'll get the visa sometime in July or August, and I'm coming straight back once that starts. I got to meet my boss and see a day in their life and how their school works. So today we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be discussing how I've gotten to this point, as I'm still very new to Japan in that I've only been studying Japanese for 3 years. I studied abroad for an entire year last year. For those who watch my channel, I apologize. I re-explain this a lot, but it's such a new channel that I know I get a lot of new people, so I like to say it. So welcome. I'm going to look at the chat for a second because I can see it now. Holy crap. Hi, everybody. Wow, Matt says he's going to be working in Osaka too. Right on, Matt. Congrats, man. Maybe we should do like a meetup. A lot of people ask if they can do a meetup. That sounds like fun. I would love to do that. It's my boy Eric. What's up, everybody? Friend of mine teaches in Japan. He absolutely loves it. Hey, cool, man. Isaiah, nice to meet you, man. Yeah, again, it's one of those things where I don't know how it's going to be in the long run. Like right now, I'm stoked as hell. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be crazy fun. And of course, since I got to kind of spend a year in like a trial run of Japan last year and see what it's like to live here, I'm now going to be like actually living here, not just studying abroad and like partying every night. So you guys are going to be along with me. So even if I fail, even if this happens and it sucks, something really bad happens and I am getting depressed and it's awful, you guys are going to be here right with me. So you're going to see it all. Maybe it'll be kind of like a social experiment kind of thing. Because I'd love to continue the podcast. These live streams are getting cooler now with YouTube, right? Like I know Twitch TV was a thing for like video games. I used to do that a little bit a few years ago, but like wow, with YouTube now, I just saw they added like super chat, so you can like it's kind of a way to like donate. I don't know, that's pretty cool. I think YouTube is really embracing live streaming. And yeah, again, I apologize for the audio and the echo. I know that the audio isn't very good. I'm traveling. I'm in Osaka, Japan for the next 2 days, and then I'm flying back home. But I'm in an internet cafe, and luckily their internet is fucking fast. So I posted it on my Twitter if you want to see the exact like speed. I did a speed test. It's insane. I've never been anywhere near such fast internet. So yeah, here I'm gonna read a few more comments just because I want to say hi to you guys. Hey, you're gonna be an alt next year. Hey, congrats. That's awesome. I don't regret subbing. Thank you. 昔大阪楽しんでね。住んでた。住んでたか。昔に。どうでしたか、大阪。なんか、僕は今まで、なんか観光だけしかしてないし、なんか住むのが好きですか。僕はなんか天王寺駅の近く場所に引っ越すつもりなんですけど。Your channel content really helps out, Eric. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm sorry, I'm just like rereading comments. I know you guys can all read them, but I'm like I reference the comedian Bill Burr a lot, and I feel like the guy should, like, if I ever get famous on YouTube or something, I'm gonna ask if he could like give me a couple dollars, because I always promote this dude. He's my favorite comedian, and he does a podcast, and one of his worst things is that he can't read out loud, and neither can I. So I have to kind of like really. Holy shit, I just got $2. Wait, when someone famous says your name correctly, Isaiah. Wow, so the first official, I guess let's do like a round of applause. I don't have my sound effects, but you can imagine. I'll do them like, hey, oh, holy shit. So I guess, thank you, Isaiah, for donating $2. That is so kind. I appreciate it. That you are officially the first super comment on this channel, and that I really appreciate that. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. I hope I always get bugged when I watch like Twitch streamers and stuff, and they're just like, I click on the channel, and the first half hour is them just going, hey, thanks for the resub, hey, thanks for the resub, hey, thanks for the money. Like, that's all it is. It's just them saying thank you. So I don't want to be annoying, because I find it really annoying. So if you guys do donate, I'm really appreciative, and I'm really, really excited. But I'm going to try not to annoy and like people who don't want to listen to that. What is your favorite Japanese word? Oh boy, what is my favorite Japanese word right now? What would it be? I guess it'd be something like, I want to say it'd be something in Osaka Ben, like an Osaka dialect, but I'm trying to, give me a minute, I'll get back to that, actually, because I wish, I could say something like, I guess that if there's any word, okay, actually, here it is right now. So, before it was like yabai, it's a word yabai, which basically has like infinite meanings. It's kind of like insane, crazy, like wow. Like if you're surprised, if it's like something scary, if it's something weird, you could always say yabai, and it's kind of a blanket word, a slang word. But lately, I've in Osaka, the word for like idiot or like idiot would be aho, in opposed to Tokyo, which is baka. And in Osaka, it's very Osaka-ish to add ya to everything, or yan, instead of da. So a lot of people, when they just like, if you're with a friend and they say something stupid, you could be like, ahoya. You can like, you're just like, you're an idiot. I love that. Whenever I hear people, ahoya, like, it's just funny. It's just, for some reason, I find it hilarious. So ahoyan is like my favorite expression right now. Yeah, yabai is fun. The yabai is a great word. I'm going to be making up videos in the future, like on my favorite words and like slang words that I think are very useful. Yabai is by far the #1 on that list for sure. Have I practiced Osaka Ben? Yes. Well, and I mean, yeah, I am, but I'm actually going to be studying it like hard, starting like, now that I'm going to be moving here. There's like a lot of websites that kind of break down Osaka Ben, and I know most of it, but there's some that I still don't totally don't know. For example, like instead of ja, which is kind of like, all right, like it's kind of wrapping up a conversation, I guess. Like, or if someone's like, okay, I'm going to meet you, I'm going to be in Osaka at 2 p.m. I could say ja. I'll arrive at 1:45, so I get there earlier. So it's like, okay, in that case, I guess in that case is a good way to say it. Apparently, you can say hona instead in Osaka Ben, so you'd be like, hona mata. It's like, all right, ja mata. Like, all right, I always say ja mata, Maybe from now I'm going to have to switch it to hona mata. Like, should I do that? That's actually not a bad idea. Levi, I just got, if you're asking if I had a part-time job, no, not officially. I did some eikaiwa, like some English lessons with friends, kind of under the table, like I'd make like $20 a week kind of thing, but nothing like official. So this is my first job. Hona In anime, Japanese father shows showers with daughter. Why? Okay, I mean, I don't have an answer to that. What is your favorite studio? Yeah, I guess. Okay, so I guess this is a Q&A. I was kind of originally intending on doing. I will. I'm going to be discussing like my really long story because my last video we just announced that I got hired for the position, the job position, but I didn't want to like. I wanted it to be more of like a hey. I want to like a kind of a surprise, not like this like long-winded thing. So today is the long-winded thing. There aren't any rules to how this is structured. I'm going to be discussing the story as we get along here, but feel free to just throw out questions, and I'm going to be answering them. And I hope for people, again, like these kind of streams, it's like, I think they're good for people who are like doing laundry. I know there's a streamer you guys should check out. His name is, his channel is called Give Me a Flake Man. His name is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think is it Victor? I think it's Victor. I haven't seen it in a long time, so it's been a while. He was one of my first like subscribed Japan YouTube guys. But he calls them laundry videos, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but this is a laundry video. Yes, I studied abroad for 1 year in 2015 to 2016, and then came back to America for 1 year to study. And I'm in that year still. So in 3 more months, it'll have been a year since I came back from Japan, if that makes sense. And then I'm coming straight back. So, let's see. Portland no. Oh, waterfront? Waterfront mo. Yeah. Sakura mo aru desu ne. There'sいや、オレゴン州のポートランドという場所には、ワーターフロントと、書いてある、コメントに書いてある、場所が、I can't speak Japanese right now. には、桜があって、多分これから花見が始まるかな。日本はまだですね。3月の最後なのに、まだ咲いてないな。Will you be able to meet your YouTube fans? Of course. Yes, my channel is so small right now, so I don't even saying the word YouTube fans. Yes, I guess I have fans now. Yeah, is that a thing? Are you guys fans? Thank you. I would love to do a meetup. Not that I feel like a lot of people would show up. I don't. Again, you know that I don't think of myself as this big YouTuber, but I think that's the only reason I haven't wanted to do meetups is because like I just worry no one would show up. I guess the worst thing I could set up a meetup, show up, get some food by myself, and go home and like cry. But I did one in Vegas. Very last minute, like in the morning, I was like, hey, tonight I'm going to be at a bar. If there's anyone in the area who wants to grab a drink, I'm going by myself if you want to join. And one individual showed up, and it was actually really enjoyable. But I would love to do, like, maybe we could, like, set up a group thing and go out to an izakaya or go to a bar or something and all get some food together. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yes, I'll be going to Tokyo from time to time. And if I do, I think if I ever go to Tokyo, I think every time I'll do a meetup because a lot of people live in Tokyo, and I think a lot of other YouTubers live in Tokyo because it's Tokyo. It's kind of the capital, or not capital, but the really famous city. I guess, well, actually, is it considered the capital now? I guess it is because it's like Tokyo. Yeah, I guess it is. Like long ago, Kyoto was like, the fucking, I forget my history. Like I'm never like, even though I'm studying Japan, I'm so bad even with my own history, like in America. Like I want to learn it, but I don't expect to be like a master either. Like if there's anything I want to learn, it's I want to master the language skills. I want to master and know what all the names of all like the foods are and like ingredients and how to say them and like things like that. And then I guess just the different periods, like the time periods, because I know in one, is it the Meiji period? I don't know. There's one. I forget the period, but where like Nara was the main place, and then I don't know. There's that famous video on YouTube that it explains Japanese culture or history in like 5 minutes. It's actually I've seen it like 3 times because it's just like it's really they just go through really fast. Like, and then this place went here, and then they killed him, and then they got betrayed, so then they quit, and then I don't know. The way he does it is really funny. If you Google that, I think it's awesome. You got hay fever in Oregon? That sucks. That's awful. I'm sorry to hear that. You shouldn't say you're going to be alone. That's not dangerous. Not if I'm going to a bar. I'm not alone if I'm in a bar. I mean, it's in public. Which do I like, Tokyo or Osaka? So I'll be honest, I like Osaka a lot better, but I don't not like Tokyo either. I love Tokyo. Tokyo's a lot of fun. But I studied here, so I have that kind of nostalgia. I know how to get around in Osaka a lot better. And I think I fit in with Osaka better in that, like, everyone here, Osaka is known to be more, like, open and like really funny and really loose, and a lot of comedians come out of Osaka. And I'm a very loud, outspoken, way too hyper person. So I think I fit in here better. When I studied abroad here, I'm reading the name, age of 17, I studied at Kansai Gaidai University. So the acronym is KGU. It's a famous private school, and the reason it's great for foreigners is it's private, meaning that like you don't really have to test in to get into it. You just need money. So if you can like borrow money from your school, which is I did, so I did a lot of school loans to pay for that, and I was able to go. 2週間後に日本に帰る。今、so how did I say that? 金熊くん、今どこにいますか？もっとポートランドにいたかった。じゃあまた僕もなんか帰国したらポートランドにぜひ来てください。Yeah, it's the capital now. I thought so. I mean, in the name Tokyo too. It's not Edo anymore. And I'm like man, I feel like an idiot because I'm not ready for the podcast. But the kanji basically, it's like the East capital is basically what it is. 大阪で仕事されるんですか？そうです。3日前、英語の塾の仕事を取りました。就職しました。秋から始めます。ビザ取ったら。Do you have any other plan besides work and of course making videos in Japan, like getting married maybe? Says Liana. Well, you know, I think everyone wants to get married at some point, you know. Not everyone, but I do, and I hope to. I actually have a date tonight. Speaking of marriage, that sounds weird to say that. That does sound strange, but you know, I'm just thinking of like future stuff. It's like, oh yeah, crap. I actually have a date tonight. I'm pretty excited. オレゴン州のポートランドですよ。あ、最高。OK。もう行ったかどうか、行ったかもしれないんですが、なんか忘れた。レットルビッグバーガーというハンバーガー屋に行ってみてください。俺の一番好きな場所。めっちゃうまい。なんか、説明できるかな？なんか、ハンバーガーがちっちゃいのに、なんていう、肉の部が厚い？なんていう？ thick? It's a burger shop in Portland called Little Big Burger, and it's my favorite burger, like my favorite cheap burger in America, hands down. It's incredible. So if you ever go to Portland, go to Little Big Burger. I'll go to KGU to study abroad this September. Sorry, I have to scroll here. How should I throw away trash? Osaka has rules of trash. I mean, separate. It's pretty easy. I mean, when you go, if you're So are you referring to like trash cans in like a dorm or in your host family or something? Because in that case, they'll tell you. I mean, I can explain it to you right now, but you basically just separate certain plastics. You have to wash them. So if you buy like takoyaki or something, for example, and it comes in a little collapsible thing with like a rubber band, you'll basically throw the rubber band away. And then you'll take the plastic and rinse it out with water until it's clean, and then put that in its own recycling thing. Most paper and stuff, I think, they just like burn it, but it's like combustible, as in like they burn it and use that as energy somehow. I think, but again, I'm not 100% sure. Did you study? Okay, Gennaro says, did you study abroad for a semester or for your entire college experience? Would you recommend me to study at Kansai Gaidai? I'm going to make a video, I mean, I can talk about it here, I guess. I studied for 1 year only, so it was 2 semesters. I did a fall semester and a winter semester. I'll say this, if you're going to be studying abroad in Japan, especially at Gaidai, if you have a choice, choose the fall semester over the spring one, unless you want to do summer, because summer is also an option. But the reason I say that is, by the way, Net Cafe's coffee is 100% free, and water and soda, and this is fucking awesome. I'm gonna make a video, not right now because I didn't bring all like my camera stuff, but I'm gonna make a video on Net Cafes in the future, because this is the room smells like, you know, baby wipes, because this is obviously like, let's be honest, we know what has gone down in this room. There's a computer here, there's porn out that you can rent. But it smells like baby wipes, so it's kind of gross smelling, but they have like air conditioning, so like there's air circulating. I came in, I actually got a wet wipe. Oh, where is it? I haven't used it yet. Let me grab it. Check it out. They have a refrigerator with a bunch of hot, wet towels, but I let it sit for too long, so it's not hot anymore. But I'm basically just kind of like washing my hands and doing this to make sure I'm not like catching diseases out here. Sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Ema Foot says, I have friends in Virginia. Oh, nice. Yeah. Gaida. Yeah. So Gaida is, I'll do a short answer. Study in the fall. Gaida is really fun. But it's not renowned for being a very smart school. So just know that if you're going to the school, it's more just to like for the experience of studying abroad. It's a great way to get to, Japan and experience it. And I think it's fun outside of the school. I think I enjoyed most of like not being at like this campus is actually really nice, but the classes were like a waste of time in my opinion. They weren't very hard, and I was mostly like asleep the whole time because eventually I just realized that it didn't really matter. So okay, you're gonna speak in normal Japanese or Osaka Ben? Oh, of course Osaka. Well, I mean it depends on the situation. When with friends, Osaka Ben, of course. Went to Odo Onsen after watching your video. It was amazing, right? Grinners, yeah. I think that's actually my favorite onsen. There's an onsen literally next door to here. It's in the building behind me called Spa World. I went there last week with a friend for the first time. It was great. It was really fun. It's a big building. It's like $10. Gets you all the baths, and there's even a gym in there, and like nap rooms and massage chairs and stuff. But the Odo Onsen in Tokyo was a lot cooler, I think. It's a really cool travel experience for sure. Okay, when do I leave? You still want to meet up? Oh, in Portland? Hey Travis, what's up, man? I remember you actually. I think you live in Portland, right? I'm gonna be leaving probably in like July. So let's do a meetup in Portland. That sounds fun. Will you be marrying a Japanese lady? Well, I mean, if I'm living here, yeah. I'll be honest, I really like Japanese girls right now. I hope that's not weird to say. I think that's a good thing if I'm living here. I like Japanese girls a lot. I think they're really kind. They're really fun. They're really cute in my opinion. They're very girly. I like girly girls. So that's kind of my soft spot. So I like that. Little Big Burger 美味しいですね。バリうまいです。最高です。ポテトなら最高。なんかそんななんていう油とかの味はとそんなオレンジみたいなメヨネーズとケチャップ混ぜてあるソースとかタレとかかけるとやばい。I will be teaching children, Kevin. Kevin asked, will I be teaching children? So I know your comments are coming, so I'm going to try to keep up, but I'm just going to kind of scroll down so that I can kind of get to all. I don't want to miss any questions, Any apps you recommend for studying Japanese? Any kanji apps you can find? Google Translate is good for single words, like dictionary words. Any slang, obviously, Soft and straw. Yeah, 鈴木さん。ソフト&ストローはやばい。なんか一番好きな味はどうですか？なんでしょう。僕はなんか、おもんないですけど、僕はバニラ。普通のダブルフォールドバニラという味が一番好きです。なんかシンプルで好きです。明日はラルド行ってきました。昨日。ラルド。ラルドって何ですか？あと、ロクシもしています。なんか、一回朝食食いに行きました。Yeah, it's kind of late. Sorry, guys. It's 2 p.m. for me here. 2:30 almost. Late for a date. Damn, Eric, you're going to look fresh on the day. Oh, I'm not wearing... This is my pajamas. And I just came from outside. I'm not trying to like... Yeah, this is Erica Broad here. I got my Ray-Bans on. I got my Daniel Wellington. Watch this. No, I actually... Sorry, I forgot I had these on. I just came from outside. I'm such an idiot. No, I'm gonna... I mean, I could wear this, but I'm not gonna wear a beanie because we're actually going to... I made a reservation for this restaurant that looks so good. I'm excited. Like, it sucks because I'm gonna move to Osaka, but I won't be able to really afford to go to like... I mean, no one in normal circumstances just goes out to like nice restaurants all the time, But on like special occasions or like a special date or something, paying that $40 or $50, steak or something like that or some. I found a restaurant that looks so good. So I made a reservation, and I'm excited. So I'll let you guys will check if you guys check out my Snapchat or something or Instagram. Yeah, boy, Eric spitting some truth. Won't have to worry about the since I'll be doing. Have I met any gaijin hunters? Short answer, yes. There's certain areas like in Japan that you learn where the gaijin hunters go. And of course, like when I first came to Japan, I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. There's a bar called Hub if you're looking for them. Just I'll give you guys that advice. If you're looking for girls or vice versa, if you're a girl looking for a guy that's into foreign girls, oh, my throat kind of hurts. I talk too loud. I'm gonna try to not slow down, but since I have that date tonight, I don't want to show up with like a raspy throat, you know. I'm really falling apart here. Hub it's like a British pub, and a lot of gaijin hunters go there for sure. Why do you think Japanese pop stuff rarely show up in Western culture? I think J-pop is just so different. It's so in America, it's like heavy rock and roll and hip hop are like big, you know, or like pop, Justin Bieber and stuff. But J-pop is just so different. I feel like you really have to be into it. How much is the porn in that cafe? It's free, I think. I saw some like magazines and DVDs on the way in. I guess I'm not gonna do it on YouTube because I can't. But I was gonna say like if I ever make a YouTube video, maybe I'll grab one and like show that just like the cover and then like blur out the nudity because there's a lot out there. But right now, I'll do it next time. どんな授業を外大で取りましたか？普通に日本語以外の授業はほとんど日本の文化についての授業ですね。僕は何やっけ日本のフィルムとか最近と50年代ぐらいのフィルムとか一番好きな何やっけなんか告白とか好きでした。告白というその以外何やっけなんか日本の幽霊とか幽霊合ってる？幽霊とか妖怪とかについての授業もあったけど僕は毎日二日酔ってずっと寝ちゃったんですけど大学で関西外大行くわ PSU 行くでもそうですか僕も PSU です。PSU の大学生です。Are you planning to travel to other Asia countries? I would love to go to Korea. I want to go to. I don't have like an interest in Korean culture, but the food looks really good. I really want to go eat there. How long really is my visa will be 1 year at first. And my contract with the job is for 1 year, but it's like the other employees that work there, they're in like their second and third years now. So it's basically like if you work and they like you and you do a good job and the company doesn't like go bankrupt, they will likely offer you a renewal. I guess it's kind of like Jet's similar to that. So just assuming nothing like bad happens, I'm doing it for a year. But even if say I worked for a year and for some reason they didn't rehire me, I would have a year of experience, and I think that on a resume that would go a long way. And even just a year living in Japan, again, I'm going to benefit so much from the Japanese language learning just living here. So I think even if I got fired or something, not fired, but you know what I mean, like not renewed, I would be able to call another company and be like, yeah, I worked in Osaka for a year. They laid me off, but I'm looking for another job. I think I could find work, So for now, I'm doing English teaching. Again, I tell people that I'm doing English teaching. It's not like I'm studying English teaching or I'm getting like a master's in English right now. Maybe in the future, I know some people do that. You can like go back to school for 2 years, get a master's, and then teach at a college level. Right now, it's more kind of like, it's an entry-level position, so I'm treating it like an internship / like a way for me to like still be able to kind of do YouTube for fun. But lately, my channel's really small, but those of you who watch me, I get so many nice comments of people saying like, hey Eric, like really love your videos, you guys, or whatever. I can't help but feel like if I really worked part-time at it, that it could maybe actually get kind of popular. And again, I'm only treating it as a hobby, so that I'm never like disappointed or anything if things like go whatever. But who knows? And I hope I can maybe meet some other YouTubers in the future. And like I never really expected to plan out YouTube. So I'm now just kind of like starting that that thought process of that being a possibility. So for now, day job teaching English, and then part-time job just traveling Japan and recording all of it and putting it on YouTube. I'm excited. I've heard that it's common for Japanese universities to be less academically intense. Yeah, I think that's true. And in my experience, yeah, but there's some universities like Waseda University that's like they're more like renowned, or I've heard they are. But the hardest thing, I believe, with colleges in Japan is getting in. So if you can get in, like if you like taking the tests and coming from a good high school, once you're in, you're basically good. So I've heard that a lot of oh, sorry, one sec. I need to close something off my computer. I have my Adobe Premiere still open and it's like frying my computer. Getting into the school, once you're in, it's like really hard to get like dropped out of the school unless you like did something illegal or something. So I've heard that a lot of college kids, they like don't even take it that seriously because it's like their last chance before real life starts, and they have to like have kids and like a career, so they kind of party because they won't like get kicked out. That's what I hear, and that's it probably depends case by case, but check Ryan Boundless channel. He's in English in Japan for years. He gives tips for those who want to be. No comment on Ryan Boundless, but I know who he is. I know he lived in Osaka, and I'll say this: I'm not gonna bash because I don't want to get drama at all. And he lived here for 10 years, and I haven't even lived here yet, so I can't. I have no ground. I have no footing. He's older than me. He's a middle-aged adult, and probably much more mature than I am. I don't know, but I think he left the country and moved to Thailand like on a whim. He seemed like he really didn't enjoy his time in Japan. I mean, if I ever got to that point, I would leave too, obviously. But I saw some of his content, and he just seemed very negative. He seemed very... I just didn't enjoy watching the content. It made me depressed, you know? I mean, again, he's trying to be like, oh yeah, this is real. Like, this is the stuff you don't want to hear, and I appreciate that. And there was one video he made where it's like the Dream Crusher. I think that's one of his popular videos. And I appreciate that, hearing that and seeing someone going through that. Luckily for me, I think that the situation I'm in right now is like my salary's quite low, but my boss, and again, things might change, and I don't know. But my boss seems really kind and really nice, and just the friends I've made so far, and I really love to socialize and make new friends, and Japanese hospitality is just so nice that I feel like it's almost impossible for me not to enjoy Japan. But again, if Ryan happens to be watching this, or people take my words and, spin them whatever, I don't like to get involved with drama or anything. I just saw that he left the country, and it seemed like he left in a very negative and very, like, sad fashion. So I'm not a personal fan of his channel, really, but I think having that content on YouTube is probably important still to see, like, someone who didn't have a great experience. And I think all channels on YouTube praise Japan as this paradise, and for me right now, it kind of still is. I'm still kind of in the honeymoon of that. Even though I was here for a year, I'm going to be starting my, like, an actual life here, like an actual apartment and a job and paying bills. So we'll see. We're going to see how it goes. But I feel more optimistic than what I saw from his channel. I personally like Abroad in Japan. I think he's a great channel. I like his video editing a lot. I think that's why I like it. There's other channels like Rachel and June are also really nice. I think they provide some really interesting content. Not like my favorite maybe personalities per se. I hope that doesn't sound mean. I'm not like someone who watches all of their videos, but I think that their channel is great. It's very professional. I like his cooking one, the side one, June's Kitchen or whatever. That one, the stuff he makes in that is pretty cool. I would love to meet them, and they her Japanese is fluent, and his English is beyond fluent. I've even seen it got better. So I do watch the channel. I just don't like watch it all the time. Abroad in Japan is one of those channels I watch like all the videos. I just think he's really funny. British personalities are great. And again, his editing is good. And I think a lot of channels have good content, but they lack editing. It's kind of just like a vlog and like walking around, kind of the Casey, how do you even say his last name? Neistat or whatever. Everyone is talking about him right now, so I bring that up. But I think those kind of videos are great. I just think they get kind of boring. And I don't want to be the guy with like a camera like, I'm here. Like, I want to be a little more discreet. And I just recently got a better camera. And I'm really rambling. I need to catch up on some of your questions. Okay. Meet up with Steph Choi. I'll have to make... Here, I actually have a notepad. I'm going to make... If you guys have any suggestions for YouTubers, maybe like smaller YouTubers or famous YouTubers that may want to like... I'm not necessarily looking to collab, but at least to meet and have like a meetup and Maybe a collab though. You know, collabs are hard because I don't want to like promise a collab with someone and then like they like want to direct the video in their way. Like I would collab in that like if they want me to be in their video and they say like, hey, this is Eric abroad, that you can check out his channel, and then maybe like in the future I can make a video and travel with that. You know what I mean? I think I would rather be in someone else's video than me like have someone else on mine just because. I mean, I don't know. I say that now. Don't take that too seriously. But like, if you know anyone or if anyone of you may be interested in doing like collab stuff, just talk to me. Let me know. I'm still just kind of nervous with collabs in that like, I feel like I can be really picky in like directory in my content. So, but for live, like something like this would be great. I think like if I could like invite someone to come over and just do a Q&A and hang out like a live stream, that would be fun. I would love to do that. Go easy on the Japanese. Can you share the name of the company? I'm not going to share it in that it's not a. If it was a really big company, I would, so that it wouldn't matter. But it's a small company, so I'm not going to personally share it, and I don't want, you know, people knowing things to YouTube. They can like contact the company or like prank call them and stuff like that. I'm gonna say no. But maybe in the future I will. But again, I don't really want to like unless my boss like encourages it. My boss might be like, hey Eric, please use your channel to help promote our school. Then of course I'd be happy to do it. I'm scared with doing that, you know? It's like sharing your phone number on YouTube or on TV. Like, you're just gonna get, you know, trolled. So I kind of already, you guys asked these questions on if I'm gonna collab, and I guess I kind of already answered it on my own. But yes, I hope to. I would love to. Coming to Japan for 2 weeks in September. Any recommendations on how many days are required for Osaka? I just did a 10-day trip, and I thought it was more than enough. That being said, I was really busy every day. Like I was either doing like a work thing or meeting up with different friends. Here's the thing I'll say about Japanese culture really quick before I continue. If you're a person who doesn't like to plan out every hour of their day, you're going to have quite a culture shock in Japan. Because for me, I was kind of like that in America. When I'm in America, I don't like to plan anything. I think there's kind of a bliss in that, in just like, oh, what am I going to do today? I don't know. My friends, like, I might meet with a friend later. I don't know what time. Like, for me, I don't know why, but I love that kind of, especially when traveling. Maybe not all the time. If I'm planning a party, of course, I want, like, please, everyone show up on time. You know, if you're not going to come, let me know so I can buy the right, you know, for parties and things, and, like, things like that, I want you to be prompt. But for, like, hangouts and stuff, I'm not so picky usually. But in Japan, you are. And the Japanese really like to plan out and schedule out their lives, because they're busy. And in Japan, it's easy to do so because, for example, I don't have a car, but I can ride the train, and the train 99% of the time shows up literally on the minute, on the dot that it says it's going to. So you can plan out things. You're like, all right, I'm going to hang out with this person from here to this time, and then I'm going to catch a train and go here, catch this, and then come home before the last train, things like that. So it's important to be able to be prompt in Japan, and I'm getting used to it, but I think I like it. I think I'm starting to like it. I think I prefer it more now, because I can just get a lot done. And it's weird, like, I just never thought, like, planning out fun would be fun. Like, I'm going to have fun from 2 to 5, and then I'm going to be serious from 6 to 7 studying. And then I'm going to take a shower and make dinner, and then I'm going to watch a movie and enjoy that. And then, you know, I was never that guy. But now I guess I kind of am. 一番好きなのは、やっぱりサルト&カラメル。美味しいですね。Hey dude, hopefully when I get accepted to Osaka, we could meet up. Hey Robert, I saw your message actually on Instagram the other day. I think I replied to it. So yes, hit me up, man. Absolutely. Hi mom, says Seth. How did you learn all those words while learning the language? I mean, Japanese is so different from English, and I don't believe there's much to reference to, is there? The languages are so different. They are very different, Ross. I don't really have an answer, a good answer to that. It's just just through friends and stuff, I gradually learn. If I hear a new word, I ask them, like, what does it mean? And if they can't explain it, I'll just make a memo of it and like Google it. A lot of stuff you can Google it. In that Yahoo Answers will have like multiple people discussing something and trying to figure it out and like find. Because yes, you're right, it is very different. I'm gonna put this towel down. I'm still holding it. What am I doing? Being able to directly translate words from English to Japanese is usually very hard, but you can usually find ones like a meaning that's like similar, or at least grasp the understanding and the use of it. And then just over time, you hear how other Japanese people use it. Like I like there's words like, for example, like there's a kanji for like if you're free or if you're like available. It's aiteru, and it's like it's the kanji for like, my kanji is really bad, and I mentioned that it's still bad, but like now that I'm graduating, I'm gonna have much more time to study it, so I can't wait. So I'm gonna I think it's the one for like sky, and it's like it can be read as aiteru or suiteru. Um, oh, huh? How do you do it? Aiteru. Yeah, it's the kanji for sky, and it means either like available or like not busy, like dead, like if a bar's dead or something, it's like suiteru. But when I read it online, it's the same kanji, so I always read it as aiteru. So the other day I was asking like, hey, like is the restaurant aiteru? And they're like, is it open? Of course it's open. It's a restaurant. And I'm like, no, like, are there not a lot of people? And they're like, oh, suiteru. I'm like, oh, that. So like, I don't know, things like that. That's just one example. But like, you just learn, and even especially with like slang words, like how it's used, and you kind of just copy them until someone corrects you. Congrats, says Jolan. Thank you, Jolan. ラルドはラクスのバンボ寿司近くのバーあ、してる。してる。ラードならして、あ、OK, OK. ラルドって、なんか日本、カタカナの発音でわからんかったけど、エリックさん、どこの英語の先生になるんですか？言えないんですけど、天王寺の、駅の近く場所にあります。見つけられるかどうかわかんないですけど、ちっちゃい場所です。Do you think that anime will become more diverse and inclusive with Black and Latin characters? I'm not an anime guy, so I don't know. I really don't. I actually have no idea how to answer that. People who watch my channel know that I like anime. I like anime like I like Disney movies. Like I watch them and I enjoy them, but I'm not a huge fan of really diverse and random ones. But famous ones like Studio Ghibli. Oh yeah, someone asked earlier what's my favorite Studio Ghibli movie. Sorry, I didn't answer it. I think I like Totoro. I think that's a generic answer, but I really like Totoro. There's ones I don't like too. I actually don't like Princess Mononoke. I don't like it. I watched it and I fell asleep, and then I watched it again and I fell asleep, and it's maybe there's a cultural thing there. I didn't like it. I thought it was boring. That was stupid. Totoro's it's short, it's cute, it's fun, it's a happy ending, the music's good, and I love it. And ones, I guess, if like more serious ones, the Grave of the Fireflies. I forget how, something no haka, nantiyu. I forgot how to say firefly in Japanese, but it's the one about like the nuclear bombing and stuff. So it's really, really sad, like unbelievably sad story. But it's beautiful. It's a masterpiece in my opinion. I love that. But if I'm if I want to watch something good, I watch Totoro. I actually have it on my phone sometimes just to practice my Japanese listening because I think it's great. Are you happy with where your life is right now? I mean, where you are right now at this very moment? Yes. One word answer. Absolutely. I feel very blessed. I even today, like I'm walking around, like listening to music on my way to the cafe, and even though I was stressed out because I didn't have internet, and I was like, oh crap, I got like yabai. I was like yabai. I have to get on time for this live stream. Luckily it worked out, but like once I found a place and I just put in some music and like a song kicked in, it was just like I really just like smiled. I'm really happy right now. If I study abroad in Osaka, can you show me around? I can't guarantee that I'm always free to show people around, but I'd be happy to recommend places for sure. 日本語上手ってありがとうございます。まだ勉強してるんですけど、頑張ります。これから二日酔い。そうです。Hey, I just joined the live, so I don't know if you already mentioned it, but how did you meet your date? And good luck, you're a cool guy. Thank you. V the Fujoshi. Fujoshi, it's like, what does that mean? Like a fake woman? I'm trying to remember my kanji, but maybe I'm wrong there. How did I meet her? I met her at I'll be honest, I met her at a club last year, and she was really cute, and I talked to her, and we've been kind of in contact since then. So this is our first time. 1年ぶりに会います. We're meeting for the first time in a year, but she's really nice, so I'm excited. 僕は24歳です。5月に25になります. So I'm 24 was the question they asked. Did you make all your friends at the university? I will be traveling alone to Japan at the end of the summer, and next spring I would love to make some friends, but I don't know how to come about it. That's a hard question because it depends. Yes, a lot of my friends I made in university because it's easier to like, there's lunch and you can say like, hey, do you want to get lunch sometime? You can always do that. When you're out on the street, like especially if you go to Tokyo, it'll be harder because like foreigners are a lot more common. In Osaka, it's kind of like if I'm in a bar and I talk to someone and like make some jokes and they really like me, be like, hey, next time if you want to grab a beer, let's hang out, you know. That's a way too, but that's how I like to make friends. I'm a guy who loves to go to a bar and just like hang out. If you couldn't tell already, I like to go out and drink. So I'm gonna kind of rearrange this here. I feel like I can center myself a little better. Yeah, I'm 24. Can I hope some videos on Osaka in the future, or are you gonna go back to Tokyo? I'll occasionally go back to Tokyo for hanging out, so I'll probably make some videos. Haven't been to Hiroshima? No, not yet. I plan on, that'll be a video I make too. Eventually. I'm gonna go. Let's see. How do I keep my face smooth? It's not, I mean, I wouldn't say it's flawless. I still have some, like, acne scars, kinda. I'll be honest, I do use, like, lotion, though, on my face, like, after I shower. Because my face gets really dry, like, especially in the winter. I think most people's skin gets dry, like, if you shower or whatever, and then it's, like, it just becomes, like, crusty. It got to the point where, like, I never cared until, like, really, like, once I, like, wiped my face, and it was just, like, dust. I'm like, okay, like, this is gross. So I now, like, when I shower, I just grab some lotion and, like, do that and go to bed. That's how I guess that's how I do it. Congratulations from Romania. Thank you. I'm not going to read your name right, but say Bigne. I can't read that. I'm sorry, but thank you very much. I met some Waseda students. They said the most difficult thing was the entrance exam. Yeah, okay, so that's confirmed. I really like your video. I'm always interested in something you find interesting from the American guy's view. It's so fascinating. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's why it's interesting. I think that the channel can be really interesting for people, is that it's like the perspective of an American experiencing Japan for the first time. Oh no! My comments freaked out. Oh no! Oh, okay, we're good. Okay. You want to have kids? Absolutely. I absolutely want to have kids. If I could choose, if we ever get a point in the future where you can choose genders, I'm going to have a son first and then a daughter. Only 2 kids and a son and a daughter. I never had sisters growing up. I have 3 brothers. We had a female dog and my mom. That was it. So, to be honest, this is actually kind of embarrassing. But in high school, I didn't know how to, like, interact with girls at all. I grew up in I guess this is a background of my life. I grew up in a, like, pretty secluded, private Christian upbringing. My dad works at a church, and I love my parents. They're both very strong Christians. I'll be honest, I'm not Christian now. I decided that it's not something that is for me, and after high school, I quit. I'm happy that I quit personally. I worry for my parents sometimes that they worry for me or whatever, but I love my parents, and they're very supportive of, like, letting me be independent. Anyways. Am I being too loud? Moshi. あ、わかりました。すみませんでした。はい。俺の声が大きすぎるって。They said I'm too loud. They said I'm too loud. Yo, I'm about to get kicked out. Yeah, they're like, this is the front desk. A customer complained about your voice, so can you please shut up? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of lean in now, I guess. I guess my voice is so loud anyway. I don't need to be shouting that loud. This should be a good one now. Like, even in the hallway, I could hear other people's, like, movies and stuff. So, 最近のサラリーで何を買いたいんですか? Salary? Like, 給料ということですか? 給料を買うってどういう意味ですか? なんか My God, Ryan Buzz basically bashed Japan to bits on his way out. Yeah. 日本で何が一番好きですか? 日本ではね、温泉は最高ですね。今は。ほんまに好きです。アメリカには全然ないし。LeBron in Japan is one of my favorite J-bloggers too. Have I ever been to Nishinomiya? No, I haven't. But again, I'm going to be probably checking out a lot of these places. And you can, in Japan, if you want to go somewhere far that's, like, expensive normally by, like, the bullet train, the Shinkansen, you can usually take a night bus. Like, when I go to Tokyo, I take a night bus, which is only like $40. So it's long, it's like 8 hours, but you sleep and you're in Tokyo for $40. It's a pretty good deal. And with things like hostels and Airbnbs, if you want to travel like that, that's how I'm going to travel, I think, a lot. I'm staying in an Airbnb right now, and it's $14 a night. Like, it's stupid cheap. But there is another person there, and she she complains that I'm too loud too. That's something I'm gonna have to work on, I think, as a loud American. Is I need to be, I think, a little bit more aware of when and when not to be loud. Because in America, you can be as loud as you want all the time, and this is Japan. You can't do that. You should do a collabs with that Japanese man Yuta. I would love to do one with him. I think he's awesome. He goes around in Tokyo. For those who don't know, his channel is called That Japanese Man Yuta. I think he focuses on, like, dating and stuff in Japan, like how, like, like as a foreigner dating a Japanese girl or a Japanese girl meeting a foreigner or something like that. But he does interviews just on the street in Tokyo in both English and Japanese. And for my Japanese studies, it's really good practice because he puts all of the subtitles in there in Japanese. And I love that guy's channel. I think I would love to collab with him for sure. And I would love to do that kind of content. I hope I want to like talk, not like, because I don't want to copy, obviously I don't want to copy anyone. But I think what he does is something I would really love to do, like in Osaka. So maybe I can find like an Osaka niche, or maybe like not as because I personally wouldn't ask about like dating and stuff. I wouldn't get into that serious of stuff. It'd be more like, hey, let's try to practice English, kind of, because I made a video at Kansai Gaide doing that. And I guess it does get negative criticism sometimes. Some people say like, hey, you're just like making a video making fun of Japanese. I hope that's not, because that was never my intention. And if that is how it looks, like maybe I won't do it in the future, but. I just think it's fun, and a lot of those people that I did it with, I actually became friends with. Like, we stayed in contact, and one of them, particularly Masa, I saw him last week. He let me stay at his house for 2 nights, so we became really good friends. And anyways, I hope. I don't think it's that bad, and I'm going to continue doing it. But I don't make it to like, hey, look how bad that their English is. Like, that's not. I'm not here to make fun of them. It's more fun to like learn together, because the things they said, they're really funny. Like, and even as an American, when I say or try to like explain things in Japanese, it's hard. It's difficult to do that. So it's funny, and I don't think it's a bad thing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how fluent do you consider your Japanese? Okay, like I guess in like everyday like nichijou no kaiwa de wa, I don't know, like in like everyday conversation, just like speaking, like getting around on the train, buying stuff at restaurants and stuff, I'd say I'm at like a 7. If you're talking 10 as like perfect, maybe a 6 or something, but like 1 being like literally never touched a book or read anything in Japanese, 10 being absolutely fluent, I'd say I'm a 7. Kanji, I'm like a 3. So I'm going to be studying a lot of kanji, and past like everyday conversation, like more difficult words in like work and stuff, like a 4 or 5. Like, I know enough to like to get by comfortably, or get my message across. So like if I can't explain it, I can like they know what I'm trying to say. Hand gestures help too, but my everyday conversation is better only because I hang out with friends a lot, and even just this week, I learned more this week Japanese-wise than I learned like the last 2 semesters in America. Because the way the American schools, they just do it, they just cram it, and you don't learn it. At least in my school, I didn't learn anything. It was too much. So this next term is very free, and I'm going to be spending that time going back through the stuff that we practiced and learned, and actually learning it and retaining it slowly. You have to learn slowly. You can't learn fast. Don't try to learn fast, in my opinion. Okay, let's see. Is Japan rich in sunlight? I think so. There's a lot of mountains, but yeah, it is. It's even right now, it's really sunny today. The only thing with somatic you're asking, with the seasons in Japan are very like heavy. It's like winter is winter, summer is a fucking hot summer. Fall and spring in Japan are perfect. Fall and spring are the best. Summer is awful. Winter is pretty awful as well. Sorry, I'm kind of scrolling through. I don't want to skip anyone, but let's see. Besides teaching English, what other type of job would you love to do in Japan? Right now, it's hard to say. I'm not sure. I think if my Japanese skills improve to the point where I could work, then I wouldn't really mind working. Oh, I guess if I was to do anyone, I would love to apply for, because I like to do, right now I work part-time doing video editing for a friend of mine. He's a producer at the Portland Trailblazers arena in Portland, the basketball arena. I help do usually once a week the hype video before the game starts. It's like the lights go out and it's like, last week we won and this week we're gonna crush them again, like that kind of video. I help make those, so my friend's the producer there, so thanks to him, he provides me with occasional work, and it's awesome. Anyways, if my Japanese ever got fluent in the future, I'd love to work in film if I was like to do something else. So I guess right now doing YouTube will be kind of my first entry into that. And even when I was studying abroad in Japan, one of my videos got aired on TV for like 10 seconds. It was the toilet video discussing, they were discussing like with the Olympics coming up, which that's going to be awesome. I can't wait for the Olympics. I'm absolutely going. So Eric Abroad, we're going to definitely plan to somehow do something with the Olympic thing. And by then, hopefully my Japanese will be good enough that we can make something really cool. I'm excited for that. Why didn't I get jet lagged? I'm still jet lagged. It's been a week. I'm still jet lagged. Hey Eric, I'm Canadian from Vancouver, West Coast baby. Hey, was wondering what your process was for becoming an English teacher. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll to the bottom of these questions, and then let's do the story of how I basically got to where I am, because it's basically a 3-year story, and I'm gonna explain it. So hold on to that question. Life with Ami in Japan. Are you? Oh, maybe another YouTuber. Here, I'm gonna write down your name. I'm gonna check out your channel later. Life with Ami from Japan. You said when I first came to Japan, I teach English and it was fun. Okay, sounds good. I'll check out. Yeah, that's awesome. Do you happen to still be in Japan? It's great to see you guys throwing chats and comments here. Thank you for the interest in Japan. Yeah, it's cool having Japanese people in here too, and foreigners. Osaka no, そうですね。Osaka no sen. Have you seen Anata no Namae wa? Or Anata no Nawa. It's not Namae wa. It's actually it's Kimi no Nawa. Kimi no Nawa is the name actually, but I know what you're trying to like. Anata no Nawa. It's the same meaning, but Kimi no Nawa. Yes, I saw that movie. It was really really good. I liked it a lot. I actually liked it a lot, mostly because like not necessarily like the story was good. It was very anime-y. Like they kept having those like cut scenes where it felt like an anime intro or something. Which again, I'm not a huge anime guy, so I was like, yeah, okay, it's a little. So for me, it was cheesy. But the animation was just beautiful. I love beautiful animation. That's why I mean obviously that's why Ghibli is one of the biggest things. Is even if you don't like the story, even Princess Mononoke, I wasn't like a huge fan, but the animation was amazing for the time, especially. Hey, welcome to Japan. I also live in Osaka, so let's chill sometime. Hey, Iron Sentry, absolutely. Again, when I get back, I would love to set up something. Is it actually possible to teach English in Japan as a non-native speaker? Yes, absolutely. Things like JET program. If so, how JET program? I'll steer you toward that. I'm not doing JET program, but I was kind of intending on doing it. Uh-oh. My little logo stopped. Okay, turn it back on. Yeah. Why do you hate Nujabes? I do not hate Nujabes. Are you kidding me? Nujabes is like my favorite artist ever. Why would you say that? So Seth Guttenberg said, why do I hate Nujabes? Nujabes is a hip-hop producer, Japanese hip-hop producer who unfortunately died. He passed away in a car accident, which is such a stupid way to, not he's stupid, but it's such like in life, that's such a terrible, stupid way to die. Like it's such a waste, just like, you're just commuting. I think he was like leaving an airport and he just crashed. Like, fucking sucks, man. Anyways, he's my favorite, one of my favorite like hip-hop like instrumental producers. Last year in Japan, he got me through like the whole year, even like in the sad times, the happy times, the like nostalgic times. Nujabes was I love Nujabes. Take that back. Don't ever say that I hate Nujabes because it's not true. I actually I learned from him from Samurai Champloo, the anime series that was on Adult Swim. That people ask me what's my favorite anime and stuff. Samurai Champloo is absolutely my favorite. Still to this day, I watch it all the time. I've seen it countless times. The first episode's fight scene is like just that alone is like holy shit. It's like the hip hop and just it's cool. The hip hop and of course like things like Cowboy Bebop's really good too. But Samurai Champloo is just a little bit newer, so the animation is just that much better. I think it's great. I think it's so cool. Tennoji eki mainichi tsuru node mikaketara お願いします。多分僕を見るかな。僕を見るかな。かけを読んでください。なんていう。声をかけてください。なんていう。Let's see. Whoa. You guys have so many comments. I need to hurry this up, man. I'm having a lot of fun. This is great. This is fun. Do you think the Japanese influence your way to communicate with others in English? Actually, that's a great question. That's a really good question. Grant Lee said, yes, it has. Actually, I think it has. I mean, of course, when I go back to America, I try to switch. But when I come to Japan, the way that they speak and the way that they like approach conversation is so much more polite and humble and careful than America. America, you can kind of just shout and swear and say what you want. Here, there's like the hierarchy of like if you're speaking to your senpai or your toshiue, which is like people older than you. I'm getting, that's something I'm proud of myself lately, is that I'm getting better at I used to get embarrassed for some reason with the polite conversation. I felt like if I spoke politely, it was like, for some reason, it embarrassed me. Like, I felt like I was doing it wrong, or like it was like the wrong moment, so it just looks funny. Because usually for people who study Japanese, when they first start, they speak, the first thing you learn is the polite form, so that you don't make mistakes, or that you don't be rude or anything like that. So that makes sense. So when I came to Japan, I thought it was cool to learn how to speak like more casual and a little more strong and a little bit more aggressive. So I didn't want to use the polite form, the keigo. But now I'm like proud to be able to switch, because I can turn it off and on a lot faster now than I used to. So if there's anyone older, I just totally switch. I get my bows in. I bow a lot too. You asked like if my English switches. I bow a lot now in America. That's like a very common side effect of coming to Japan, is that like I'll just be like, I'll see a friend, like, oh, what's up, dude? Or like if I'm like, if I bump into someone, I'll be like, oh, you throw up a hand like this, sumimasen, like something like that. Hotaru no Haka. Oh, okay, Hotaru. I'm gonna have to remember that. Hotaru no Haka is the name of Grave of the Fireflies, that Studio Ghibli movie. Have you made plans for where you're gonna live? I know the area I'm gonna live in. I'm gonna be living in an area near Shinsekai, near Tennoji train station, which is basically like by bike, like 10 minutes away from Namba, which is like the big crazy touristy nightlife city. So it's cool. I'm basically gonna be trying to move somewhere in that area. And there's, when you're apartment hunting into Japan, I can't start yet because I don't have my visa, but I just preemptively, just out of excitement, I started looking at like the prices and different kinds of places and trying to learn like the process, because I'm not gonna go into it here because that's a lot of info, but another video I'm gonna make and explain like the important things to know, because there's some weird things in Japan when getting an apartment. I forget the name of it, but there's basically like a gratuity fee sometimes, not always, which is like not a deposit. It's just like you're thanking them for letting you come live in that place, so you give them money, and it's weird. But you have to. My friends were like, you have to be careful though, because if there isn't one, sometimes they might charge you when you're moving out a lot of money. So I don't know. It's weird. So we're gonna be learning, and I want to learn it a little more before I discuss it, so I don't like say anything wrong. What kind of packer are you? Do you roll or fold? I fold. I'm a folder. That's a great question. What kind of pack? That's a great question. Eric says, what kind of pack? I've never heard that question before. I'm a folder. I used to roll, but then all my clothes would get so wrinkled that it was like you had to do laundry in a foreign country, and I hated that. So I just fold and then wear it and hope that it's not wrinkled. Have a nice day, and I wish you. Thank you very much, Amirul. You're probably already gone, but thank you for watching. Hi, Eric. Japan is very known for streetwear. I think those people ask me like, what's one of the biggest things you're surprised about in Japan? It's the fashion here is so sick. It's so cool, and especially in the Namba area, there's an area called America Mura. Oh, my friend's calling me. Hold on. He might be watching right now. My buddy Anthony. Hold on. Interrupted my podcast, you asshole. Oh, what? He hung up. Alright, I'll wait for him to call back. America Mura, or Amemura, it's like it's kind of like a Chinatown, but American version. So it's an American town. If you go into that area, it's kind of where all like the hip hop style and Bape. You mentioned Bape, and Supreme and all that stuff. It's huge. A lot of kids wear like Thrasher too, like the skateboard one, but no one skateboards here. So like, there are skateboarders, but you know what I mean. Like compared to America, there's not that many. And I met a student, like a junior high school student, and he was like, he thought I was cool for being American or whatever and speaking Japanese, and he's like, oh, you're very cool, like, and I was like, no, your style's cool, like, do you skateboard? Like, I love Thrasher. And he's like, oh, I never skateboard. I'm like, what? It's just because it's a cool fashion. I think it's hilarious. Their clothes are just like, people don't wear used clothes in Japan, really, at least not like fashionable, maybe like, but I'm also living in a city, so I guess it depends. Like if you go to New York or go to Nebraska, the fashion's different, and like the standards are different. But here, kids are very, I guess what I would call oshare or shibui. It's like very just, they're very careful with their fashion, and it's pretty. I personally love it. Let's see. This is a lot of fun, but you guys have a lot of good questions. Moshi moshi, hi, sumimasen. Oh, so not. Okay, I have a question. 質問ありますけど、そんな携帯でここに 取らないんですけど、なんか、テレフォンがあって、かけたら僕はもしもしと言ったら変ですか？それか、はいとか、お客さんやから、そんな、教えてください。そんななんか、店内での電話かけ方とか。Let's see. Yeah, in Japan the walls are very thin, so you have to be very quiet at night. Remember to remind me if he's too loud again, guys. Thank you. Fun fact: Japanese culture prefer to have daughters first instead of boys because they will take care of the younger. So I never knew that. That makes sense, actually. That's actually really interesting. And maybe in another video in the future too, I'd love to discuss gender roles in Japan are a lot more traditional and kind of old school, old fashioned than America. Obviously, in America now, things like what's the full acronym now? LGBTQ SXY, the whole thing. That's obviously becoming much more like they have a voice now and they have rights, and transgender bathrooms, or at least like general gender neutral bathrooms are now becoming a thing, like individual bathrooms and stuff, which is great. I think coming to Japan, it's interesting to see the gender roles though split. So I personally, I don't want to sound sexist or anything, but I personally enjoy it right now only because it's easy for me to know what to do. So I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying like I prefer it or I think that like there should be sexist, because I don't necessarily call Japan sexist, although that does exist, that kind of those kind of situations. But I think for me as a person trying to learn and adapt to the culture, it's easy for me to understand, like, as a guy, here's what guys do, and I kind of just have to follow those rules, you know. That being said, there is a gay community here. I have lots of friends that are gay, and so it exists. But I think it's easier to know what you're expected to do here. So for me, I like that. Onsen というか、お風呂に入りたい日本人にとってシャワーだけはきついですね。本当に。で、今もうなんかAirbnb という場所で泊まったり、日本人なのにお風呂もあるなのに使ってはいけないと言った。意味なんでかわからへんけど、貼りたい。僕も貼りたい。Do you have tattoos? Nope. Okay, so the stigma, Barnes, you're asking about if there's a stigma. Yes. I have advice, if there's any advice I have for you guys right now, if you have tattoos, you have tattoos, and I guess I would never ask you to remove a tattoo. But if you want to come to Japan with tattoos, your options for things like the onsen are definitely going to be limited, and potentially with work too, if they're visible, like if they're on your neck or anything. If they're on your arm and you can hide them for work, you'll be fine. But if they're visible, and especially at the onsen, you go in naked. So I encourage people who don't have tattoos to maybe really think about it if you're planning on coming to Japan. I personally wouldn't, and now that I'm living in Japan, I will never get a tattoo. But back in high school, I almost did. But it's a lot easier if you don't have tattoos in Japan. That being said, as a foreigner, because you're foreign, sometimes you can kind of get a pass. Like if you're Japanese with the tattoo, like the rules, it's stuck because you're Japanese. But for foreigners, they can get a pass. Like, okay, he's foreign. It's a lot more normal there, things like that. So I have that advice. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments. Maybe in the future I'm gonna have to learn like a system on how people like go through Q&As a little like cleaner. But I'm having a lot of fun. So I hope you guys appreciate the patience as I slowly get to your questions here. 日本のこと本当によく知っていますね. That's very impressive, and you feel like you are a lot more familiar with culture than me. Laugh aloud from a Kansai Gaide student. Hey! ありがとうございます。もう4年間日本にいるけど、全然日本語が上手になってない。教えてほしいです。何人ですか？ハズバンド。何人でしょうか？頑張りましょう、日本語。Whenever you go to Nishinomiya, you should stop by Nishinomiya. Am I reading that right? Yeah, Nishinomiya Gardens, a mall. When I studied abroad in Kobe, Nishinomiya was definitely a highlight. Okay, I like malls. Malls are fun. I'm gonna have a mall near me where I moved to, so I'm excited to check that out. How do you upkeep your Japanese when you can't take it in school but also cannot go to Japan yet? I might be in that situation for a bit, and I would like your opinion. That's hard. Biggest advice is if you can get a friend that's Japanese that you can regularly speak with online. I know that sounds generic, and it's not. I know it's not the best, but if you have no other options, get a friend, get a pen pal. After that, I would, now that Netflix is a thing in Japan, it just started. There's a few different shows, and the one I recommend all the time is called Terrace House, or in Japanese accent, Terrace House, and it's basically it's like a reality show in Japan, except everyone's not like screaming and like having sex and fighting at each other. It's like a lot of like really fashionable like models and successful people that are like maybe around my age, like 20 years old, 24 years old. They live in the same house together, and it just shows them like as they like, there's like crushes and dates and stuff, but it's like real Japanese. They're in Tokyo though. Some of the individuals are from Osaka, but they usually speak in Tokyo, like what would it be, Kanto Ben? I forget the profession. There's a word for it, for like that area. Someone let me know. I would watch for your listening skills. I would watch that and throw on the subtitles and just practice. And any word, like take a month breaking apart 10 minutes of an episode. Like you're gonna hear so many different like grammatical things and words. Break them all down and go through it as slow as possible. And that's like, I think that's one of the best ways to self-study. Yes, Malik, I will absolutely be making a video of Osaka Ben. I'm going to get like some friends who are like from Osaka and having them doing some like fun and funny examples of how to use Osaka Ben, but how it's real, because it is funny. Osaka Ben, it's so like strong and hilarious, but it's real, like it's a thing. So absolutely, that I believe me, I have plans to do that. I'm totally type A. Plan on my trips. Yeah, nice. Main differences between Japanese and English language. That's a hard question. I can't really. Main differences. I don't know. They're both very different. They're just very, maybe the grammar. Like the grammar is very backwards. Like I can't like explain it well right now. But the way subjects work, and I don't know. That's hard. But good question. Maybe another time. Let's see. Later this year, I'm going on a language immersion trip for Austria for 7 months, similar to what you did last year, I assume. 7 months, nice. Any tips for dealing with homesickness and culture shock? My advice would be to prepare for the culture shock, in that watch as much YouTube. I guess I'm going to plug my channel. Watch channels like Eric Abroad, I don't know, Abroad in Japan, I don't know. I would watch a lot of channels that have like feedback, and just learn as much as you can through the internet of what it's like, and try to immerse yourself in what it's like living in Japan. Watching Terrace House helps, because you see kind of how they talk and how when they first meet, it's very much like konnichiwa, hajimemashite, it's very polite, but then like an hour after that, they start speaking super casual, but you're still polite. There's I'm looking at my chat over here. I haven't scrolled down, but I see that Isaiah just donated another $22 to because he's leaving to the super chat. Thank you so much, Isaiah. That's $4 that you donated. You're officially the first and second super chat guy. And again, I don't like beg for donations. I don't want to, but for those who do, like really, I'm really thankful. So thank you so much, Isaiah. Have a good night. Cheers, dude. For real. Peace. Let's do more live streams in the future. This is fun. I used to not think YouTube was a very good live stream platform. It is now. This is great. Have I considered any other languages? Oh, no. I'm not a fan of Spanish, even though I live in America. I always hated Spanish. I apologize to any Spanish speakers, but I hate Spanish. I don't hate it. I don't want to learn it. You know what I mean? I think listening to it's beautiful, but it's really fast. And I never did it. Like in school, I hated it. Okay. If I was going to pick another language, though, I'd probably do Korean. Now, again, I don't have a huge interest in Korean. I only say that because it's near me and it might be useful for when I travel. So I wouldn't study it like I'm studying Japanese now, but just enough to get around, because I want to go there and travel a little bit. So I think I'd do a little Korean. That'd be fun. And it's very similar to Japanese. Let's see. You guys have there's so much here, and again, I'm such a bad I can't read and talk at the same time. Oh. I think I just got another donation, but I don't want to read it yet. I want to get through these questions. Thank you so much. Someone just donated $5, I think. Holy crap, that's crazy. Thank you guys so much. This is insane. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Okay, I think I was right here. excited for this. So I hope I'm not skipping anything crazy here. 好きな日本のスナックは何ですか？僕は梅干しの味のスーパームチョというスーパーモチョでしょ？スーパームチョというのスナックは大好きです。それは最高です。The ending of Samurai Champloo is good. The entire show of it, Samurai Champloo, is fucking awesome. You should watch Koi no Katachi. You mentioned that. Not in this backpack, but in my other backpack, I received a little notebook from work that was like it's like a really mini version, like preview of the manga. And I got it for free, so I had it in my backpack just to read. I didn't really have an interest in the show, or in the series, but just to like practice my reading. So it's funny you mentioned that because I thought I had it with me. I don't. What got you so interested in Japan in the first place? Well, okay, I think what time is it right now? We've been going for like an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to go for another 15 minutes answering these questions, and I appreciate all the questions. Like, thank you guys so much. And then I'm going to discuss my kind of story of how I got here and kind of the steps I took and how I found things. So let's do another 15 minutes of this, and then we'll get into that. So thank you guys for your patience. I really appreciate it. How old are your siblings? My older brother is, I don't even know, 26, 25 right now, and then he'll be 26 soon. No, 26 and he'll be 27 soon. And he's married. And he's gonna have a son. I'm gonna be an uncle soon. I'm so excited. In July, I think. Yeah, so maybe right when I go to Japan, he's gonna get born. That's gonna be crazy. That's crazy. He or she. We don't know if it's a guy or a girl yet. We don't know. But I'm really excited for him. That's awesome. And then I have a younger brother that is 21, 22. Again, as we get older, like none of my brothers. I don't think they know how old I am. I hope that doesn't sound like mean. And then one of my brothers is 19. Sorry, Seth, if you're watching this. I think he's 19. How do I get over that embarrassment of speaking Japanese in general? I want to speak with my friends, but that little holds me back so much. It's hard to say. It's hard to. It's hard. It's embarrassing for me too. I just would encourage you to stick with it. I think I see these super comments coming up, and it looks like they're on timers, so I don't want to like miss. Am I gonna miss the comment? I see you guys can see that, right? Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. I see two $5 ones. This is insane. You guys are, gosh, I don't even know what to say. I hope it's not on a timer though, and if it is, I don't think it is though. I think I'm gonna scroll down and I'll see it in a sec. Holy crap, this is crazy. Okay. 君の名はよりも声の形の方が面白いですと言いました。Okay, okay. 見てみます。また見てみます。I speak English, Spanish, and a little Japanese when I speak to people. Nice. That's really impressive. Can I send you a private message on Instagram? Absolutely. Feel free, anyone on Instagram, anytime. Twitter, Instagram. Instagram is a little easier for me. I'm not a big Twitter guy. Drink beer. Thank you. I like beer. Let's see. Yo, Eric, you got to do a room tour, right? Of course. When I see it, that's why when I make the video, I'm going to make a video of like a tour of my room, where I'm living, how to use an apartment, because there's a lot of little gadgets, and like some places have like a door, basically like a bell, like, or when they ring the doorbell, a video pops up, and you can see the people's things like that, like how to use that, how to use the bath, how to throw out the garbage and things like that. And I'm kind of learning this right now. So once I know how to do it, I'm going to make a video, and believe me, I'll show you guys for sure. And how I got it, and how to, maybe advice for like people applying for an apartment. I'll add you on Snapchat. Absolutely. Everyone, actually, I'm going to do a Snap right now. I hope this encourages you guys to follow me on Snap. I love Snapchat. I use it all the time. And while I'm in Japan, it's a great way for me to like share just quick little like things. Here we go. I'm going to do a selfie with you guys. So everyone follow me on Snapchat, please. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. How do we do this? I bought this ring thing, by the way. I absolutely recommend one of these, because you can slide your finger in there in order to take selfies. Let's see if I can actually do it. Look at that. That's awesome. It's so nice. Okay, so selfie time. Actually, here, I'll do it on this one. Well, whatever. Hi, cheese. I look tired. One more. There we go. It's a little blurry, but you guys get the idea. So I'm going to post that on my story. Thank you guys. Live stream. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. Live stream. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Please follow me on Snap, and I'll add you guys all back. I add everyone back. So thank you guys. All right. Let's see. How do you think you'll end up in a relationship while you're in Japan? Or do you think I will? Well, I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, I definitely will, but I hope to. Yes, is my answer. Do you do any sports or exercise? I don't do sports really, besides snowboarding, but I love to exercise. Lately, I've been trying to. I don't want to bulk up, but I want to get like skinny. We call it skinny ripped for any Japanese viewers. You can say skinny ripped. Ripped means like strong, like strong muscles. I don't know why we call it ripped. Like, because they're so strong, your muscles rip or something. I actually don't know why, but there's a phrase called skinny ripped where 細くても強いとかということというかさ yeah I feel like high would be more normal. High is probably more normal. I know like he's referring to something that like the phone thing like 20 minutes ago. Okay, いつでも電話の始めはもしもしで大丈夫 Okay, so I'm good. If I answered this phone again and said もしもし apparently it's fine. 普通だと思いますよ。よかったです。How long did you spend actually to get the occupation? Okay, so I'll get into that in a minute. Fun facts 3. Everyone does wear used clothes. Haha, especially girls. Shops like Flower. Oh, maybe there are thrift shops in Japan. Maybe I didn't know. Again, it's only been 3 years, so like I'm still totally new to Japan. Oh boy, let's see. 今調べました。仕事とか。電話の番号は。はい。というのが。Okay, people are saying that I'm good if I answer. Let's see. I'm back, so. Oh, I'm black. So do you think if I will face a lot of discrimination? I plan on going to Japan. If I'll say this, you won't face, in my opinion, of course it depends, it all depends. In my opinion, you won't face discrimination other than like good discrimination. Kind of similar to me being white, just me being rare in Japan. A lot of times, if I'm in a room and I'm the only white guy, you're going to get stared at a lot. So I would encourage you just to kind of like be ready for that as, but I don't take it as a negative thing is my advice in that, I mean, if I lived in a country where everyone was white and then suddenly, for example, an African American person comes up with dark skin, but no, that's like super rare, I would stare too. It's like, oh my gosh, it's kind of like seeing like kind of something rare, like a shiny Pokemon or something. I hope that's not mean, but you know what I mean. Because I face it too. In that same sense, but I don't think you'll. It's not like with the American background with like black and white relationships are obviously so horrible. In Japan, it will not be like that. You're not going to get pushed around or yelled at or anything for being black at all, in my opinion. If you don't mind getting stared at and being kind of like people saying, "Oh, the guy's so cool," you'll be fine. People will comment, however, on the elephant in the room of I'm not going to say it here, but the stereotype of men and having large appendages will be said. So I hope you're ready to hear that. And please, I mean, it's offensive, but people say it a lot. People say it a lot. Why did you decide to study Japanese? I'll get to that in a minute. Thank you for the question. Was it about the language? It was more about the people. It started with the language, but it was because I met really good friends, and we'll discuss that in a minute. I have 5 more minutes until that. Again, here's Isaiah's donation right there, boom. My chat's loading, so I gotta scroll back up. Sorry, it's kind of glitched out. Okay, $2 from Isaiah, $4 from him actually. So thanks, bro, for real. Like he's gone now, but like Jesus, that's awesome. Kirsten gives $5. Thank you so much. You should create a Patreon. Let's discuss that at the end. Because I know Patreon's a thing. Let's get into that in a little bit. I think it's like something that I would like to do once I hit a milestone. I just feel like people who make Patreons are just begging for money, and I don't like that. I think it's annoying, personally. That's why, thank you. I love all your guys' donations, but I'm not going to try. I don't want to be like the guy who's like, the next person who gives me $20, I'm going to do a handstand naked. I'm not going to, that shit's just annoying. Maybe, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that, but believe me, I will never not be grateful for your donations. But I feel like when you're doing Patreon, you're literally just like, of course, people don't have to donate, but it's very encouraged. Like, hey, I want your money. That being said, if I ever did want to do YouTube in the future, if there was a chance that I could make, a little part-time living doing it, I think it's important that you have to. So I know that abroad in Japan does it, and it's cool because everyone can see how much the person is making, so it's not a secret. And I think abroad in Japan, it's like he makes like $4,000 a month on Patreon. So of course it's not something I haven't thought about. I've definitely thought about it, but my channel's still so small. I feel like people who put Patreons on accounts that are small are just like trying too hard. So maybe if we hit a milestone, let's say in the future someday we hit 50,000 subs, I'll consider it something like that. For now, we'll think about that another time. Sorry to force you into the thank you donor thing, but you're just awesome. Thanks, Isaiah, again. I'm just waiting for someone to give Eric $100 in a single donation. Oh, jeez. How do you, in Japanese, they say deta, deta. It's like, oh, there it is. He said it. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. Any advice for someone who's going to start learning Japanese? Have a reason to why you're going to learn it, because that's going to be really important on the days where you don't want to do it. And even me, as like blessed as I am with, well, now that I'm like have a job, I think I have the most motivation in the world. But even like while in America just this last year, where I can't use Japanese every day, or my friends are like all back in Japan and I'm not like able to speak it as much, there's some days where I'm simply like, I'm not studying today. I do not want to study today. So you need, oh, I didn't realize my mouse cursor was being captured. Sorry if that's annoying. I think I can turn that off, but I'll do that next time. I lost my train of thought. How you need that reason, so that on the next day when you wake up and go like, what am I doing? Why am I being lazy? I need to study. Like, this is important. So have a good reason. Really, just have like why. Put it on your wall, put it on your ceiling, and just like, so when you're just like, I feel good, and it says like, get your ass up and study. All right, but you don't want it to be not fun though either. Enjoy it. Okay, I need to say a thank you to Japanese Dreams 1996 because she comments on my videos all the time. I recognize your photo, and very encouraging. And I remember you from my comment section. It says, I love your channel. Your videos are top quality, some of the best I've ever seen about Japan. I'm going in October. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear. Congratulations. I hope you have fun. Where in Japan are you going? Please let me know. That's awesome. My best friend is from Okinawa, says Mike Abroad. Here's another donation. Thank you. Mike Abroad is a similar name. Maybe I could check out your channel. Are you in Japan by chance, Mike? Again, I'm kind of making notes of like people that look like they're other YouTubers. So, someone asked me to watch an anime. I answer this a lot, but my flat answer is no. I don't really watch anime. But that being said, I do love certain anime like Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Studio Ghibli. So I'm kind of like on a casual level because I'm not an anime guy. But video games, that's where I'm a nerd. I'm a huge video game nerd. So, it's killing me, but I haven't purchased the new Zelda game yet. But my friend owns it, and holy shit, it looks so fun. I think the only reason I haven't purchased it yet is because I'm kind of broke right now, and I can't really justify dropping $360 on a game when I'm so busy with everything else right now. I don't even have time to play it if I bought it, so I'm going to wait until I move to Japan, until I get settled, maybe after a couple weeks, and I'm like all good, and I get like a schedule going with work and YouTube and still having fun, like playtime and shit, comfortably. I'm going to pick up a Wii, or not a Wii that's gone now, huh? Nintendo Switch. It's not a Wii anymore. That's crazy. The Switch. The Wii U is such a piece of garbage that I'm so happy to see the Switch. Like, Nintendo is finally listening to their audience, and I'm so excited. So, anyways, I'm a huge video game. My flat answer, people say, do you like anime? And I say no, but I'm not going to like pretend I'm not a nerd because I'm a huge video game nerd. Thinking of studying for 4 years. Wow. In Fukuoka. Fukuoka, I hear, has some of the best food in the fucking world. Fukuoka is seriously, apparently, I hear it all the time. They're like, oh, you have to go to Fukuoka to eat. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Or you're thinking about it. So Jack says, the instruction is English, and whilst I'm there, I would learn Japanese. So it's similar to what I did, I guess. Is Fukuoka a good place for foreigners? Would you recommend? I can't, from experience, I don't know if it's good for foreigners, but I for food, yeah. If you're looking for good food, I'm pretty sure I've never been there, but you can go. I would encourage you to do a lot of research, but 4 years, wow. That'd be awesome if you could do that. Nenakucha oyasumi. Thank you, Nami Suzuki. Suzuki-san, arigatou gozaimasu. Mite kurete. Mite itadaku. So you're the second oldest? I am the second oldest. 2番目. フォローしてください. I'll say this on Instagram. I don't follow back a lot because I like to have my feed on Instagram, what I want to see, like, maybe my close friends or like celebrities that I follow. But to For Snapchat, I follow everyone. So please, and Twitter, please follow me on there too. But Snapchat is, I think, a great way for me to interact with you guys and follow and give back to all you guys without feeling like I'm just following everyone. Like if I followed everyone on Instagram, my feed would just be like disgusting with so much, like just so many people. So have you learned enough Japanese to get to a point where I'm approaching that 15-minute mark. We're going to get into our story just after a few more comments. Moonman, great question. Yeah, do I think in Japanese? I think once you begin learning a language, once you start thinking in that language is a really like big milestone, because I think I've recently hit that point where now while I'm in Japan, I think that's why even just this week I'm in Japan, my Japanese has gone up so much just in a week because my thinking process isn't in English. Right now I'm talking to you guys in English, so it's, kind of whatever. But like as I'm looking around, I'm reading signs, I'm thinking of like where I'm going, what time I'm thinking, all that's going in my head in Japanese, like seriously. So I think that's a great question, because yes, I think it's true, because I experience it as well, and it's fun. It's fun to, and the hard thing is being able to switch between the two. So it's an art, I think, and it's a lot of fun. We have a comment. So たくさんコメントを読んでくれてありがとうございました。これから道具楽しみにしています。本当にありがとうございます。500円の That's awesome. I got $5. I apologize, I'm kind of like whispering now, but I can just hear other people. I'm trying to keep my voice down. But seriously, thank you so much. I'm very appreciative. 本当にありがたいです。これから頑張ります。YouTube のビデオも。Okay, so we're approaching that point. How long have you been Have I been alive? 24 years? Is that the question? Are you sad that... Oh, boy. We're approaching the bottom. Yes. ずっと日本に住む予定ですか？とりあえずそうですね。とりあえず、もし僕はなんか、3年間ぐらい仕事してみて、その時までなんか他の仕事の就職したかったらか、とりあえず3年間ぐらい。でもなんかアメリカに帰るつもりはないんですけど、難しすぎたらか、やっぱり日本にうまくいけないことになったら、の場合ならとか、なんていうかな。日本語はまだまだですけどね。でも、そうですね。とりあえずちょっと本当はずっと日本に住むつもりなんですけど、頑張ります。知らないんですけどね、まだわからないんですけど、今まで3年間しか日本語とか日本の文化について勉強したことないのに、なのでまだわからないんですけど、今本当にすごく好きになりました。日本の生活とか。日本人のおもてなしとかすごく好きになってきましたよ。コメントありがとうございます。Are you sad that Japan isn't tree friendly? I can't speak on that subject, but there are trees. I've been to some nature spots and they're beautiful. I'm not sure if they're not tree friendly though. I think the recycling is a little bit less tree friendly than America's has been getting. America's obviously the biggest producer of waste, I think, in the world, but when you stream Snapchat Olympic, hello, why did I pose? Janessa. Hey, Janessa, I think you're on Twitter a lot. Thank you, by the way. Janessa is always commenting and like sharing and retweeting my stuff, so thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Do a handstand for $20. Oh, geez, it started. Someone's going to pay you $20 for that now. Chris Abroad made a Patreon for Abroad in Japan because he needed it to fund his livelihood. See, that's the thing. I can understand that. And if I had the opportunity, like, but the thing is my channel isn't Abroad in Japan. I'm not a popular YouTuber yet. And like, if in the future, say, like, I got like a bunch of subscribers come out of nowhere, and I had the option of like, well, I could work, a day job as an English teacher or make a Patreon and make money doing YouTube. You know what I'm going to choose. Are you kidding me? Of course I would do that. That's a dream. But right now, like I don't have like that intention of being that big, like at the moment. But I mean, who knows? But like, that's why I'm not making one yet. Because if it got to a point where people are like, hey, we'll give you money if you want it. And if you do, you can get a new job. Absolutely. Of course, I would do it. That would be so fun. And I would obviously make my channel. I'd maybe even like hire people to like help me out to make it like more of like a company and get like a website going. You know what I mean? Like make it a brand. Erica Broad brand there. Gotta go. Thank you, Leanna, for watching. Hi from Hokkaido. Hello. Japanese Dreams gave another $2. Holy crap, thank you so much. I'm seeing more money. Oh, you're going to Shinjuku. That's awesome. Shinjuku's great. Enjoy it. That's in Tokyo, right? Yeah. That's going to be real. You're going to have a lot of fucking fun. That's awesome. How's the bar scene drinking compared to the US? Way more fun. Japan is so awesome to drink in. The beer is very watery. It's very like not like IPA or anything. But the clubs and bars in Japan and the convenience with like trains and you can drink outside. You can be 20 years old and even then it's not very strict. So if you happen to not be of age, there's a possibility that you can still drink. You can buy drinks at like convenience stores. I thought someone knocked. I think I'm good. Japan by far is more fun in my opinion. That being said, America's fun for parties, like house parties for like beer pong and stuff. You won't find those here in Japan. All the drinking here happens outside of the house because the houses are so small and the walls are thin. You can't be loud in Japan in a home. But in an izakaya, at a bar, at a club, at a restaurant, you can just drink your heart out. And if you like to smoke cigarettes, you can smoke basically everywhere too. You can smoke indoors. I personally am not a fan of cigarettes, so I smell like smoke everywhere whenever I go out because everyone around me smokes, which kind of sucks. But holy crap, I just see a $20 donation, but I need to get through the comments. You guys, this is insane. We're almost there. Holy shit. What in the world? Again, I don't want to be that Twitch. I told you I don't want to be the Twitch guy who just talks about donations. But so we gotta focus the content. But oh my god, thank you so much. This is insane. How do you think about American comics versus Japanese manga? Again, I'm not a big anime guy, so I can't really speak on that. I think manga's cooler though because like American comics are all like superhero stuff. I guess there's like Walking Dead, I guess, but again, I don't know anything about it. I think manga stuff is just, I think it's cool. I do like to read manga sometimes for like studying. I like just how like in depth they can get and how long they are, and like the American ones, they're just shorter. Like the animation's really good, or the animation's really good. Is that what you'd call it? The art? Yeah, just the animation is really good, but the this is insane. They're shorter, but again, I'm not like a big reader. So do you watch Joe Rogan's podcast? I don't, but I like it though. I have listened to it. It's long. I don't listen to it because it's just too long. But how do most Japanese people view America and American influence? They love America, and they're very Western now. It's a very Western country, which at first was kind of sad for me to see like how uninterested Japanese kids my age weren't interested in their own history and culture because I was really interested at the time. America's just like the cool Hollywood thing, and all the kids want to be like that. So I've gotten used to it, and I'm a little bit more okay with it now. But it's a thing. I thought it was a little sad at first, but it is fun though, so that's why when they see like an American, like a white guy or a black guy or something, it's rare, but like it's cool for them because they've only up until that point seen them like in music videos and in Hollywood movies. So that's why you can kind of receive celebrity treatment here sometimes, and at times it's pretty overwhelming. So you have to kind of pick your battles and learn like when to, how to handle that, and that's another thing that takes getting used to. Can we take the time that Eric is taking time to answer all of us? Thank you, Janessa. Seriously, that's awesome. I appreciate it. And just a few more, and then I'm gonna tell my story here because people have been waiting for that. While watching this while at break at work, good luck, man. Thanks, Jolin. I appreciate it. What Japanese YouTubers do you watch? Ooh, I don't watch a lot yet because I haven't like searched for a lot yet, but there's one guy just for listening practice because he speaks really fast. He is from Tokyo though, so his dialect is like Tokyo. But it's called Hajime Shacho. Yeah, he's like a guy who like just does like stupid experiments, but for me, I listen to him for listening practice. I'm not necessarily like a huge fan of the content or him. I think he's funny, but he's like kind of a nerdy, goofy, complete dorky guy, but he speaks so fast. He's probably like me with English sometimes, where I just... So in Japanese, they call it peta peta peta, just like super fast. And I like to listen to it that way. I got $2. Twitter and Instagram, フォローしました。Snapchat も後で登録します。おやすみなさい。ありがとうございます。She sent me a lot of comments and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much. Yeah, live stream is fun. People are saying I like the live stream. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Oh yeah, Micah Bride, you donated already, I think, didn't you? So you're donating it again. This is insane. I apologize. I'm not trying to skip your thing. I'm just trying to go through here. Oh, how long have I been live is the question. I've been live since, I thought it was like, how long have you been alive? I've been alive for an hour and 40 minutes right now. What is a must-see in Osaka? Come to Dotonbori. And if you can go to Kyoto, go to the Kiyomizu-dera. Kiyomizu-dera. It's a really famous temple, and it's huge. And I think it's like one of the it's kind of my go-to. It's really beautiful. I wish I knew what you were saying. Hey Eric, do you have any tips for studying kanji? Well, I'm in the process of going through that as myself. So Singaporean Chinese, but my reading and writing skills is absolutely terrible. I don't have an answer right now, Ignesa. It's more, or To, if that's your name. I apologize. It's a lot of self-study. I have like a kanji dictionary now. I have there's a program I found that I kind of forget the name, but I'm gonna make a video soon. So I hope you just hang out until then, or just like have patience. But I forget the name, so I don't want to tell you the wrong name. But it's like remembering the kanji or something. It's basically made for foreigners to be a program that makes it easy for foreigners to recognize kanji, as for foreigners, we're not used to kanji. So sometimes seeing all the kanji, they all look the same because they're all just like a bunch of different things, but it breaks down each like particle, or I guess, it's not a particle, what would you call it? Radical. And you learn what each radical is by applying like an English word to it. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it doesn't apply, it makes it so that you can like remember, like, okay, you just mix like all these random symbols together, and that makes this kanji. So I haven't started it yet though, but I'm looking forward to it. I would definitely look into that if you're interested. How long will my work be? I'll get to that in a sec. Great question. Work week. Once I start finally get past all your questions here, this is crazy. After a while, I'm gonna have to probably just skip some questions and get going. I can pause. I can like scroll and just like leave it, tell my story, and then go through. Oh my gosh, I actually think you're a big account because your content is so good. Thank you, Kofuku. I appreciate that very much. Again, we're a small channel. I'm kind of happy that my channel is smaller right now because I'm so busy. My content hasn't come out lately, so it's like, okay, at least my channel's small. So like my fan base is really nice and really great, but like they understand that they can like hang out. It's not like I have 1 million subscribers. Like where's his content? You know what I mean? So once I move to Japan, I'm gonna try to get like on a more like once or twice a week basis and continue the podcast. And once I'm living in Japan, the podcast I think will be a lot more interesting because I can just tell stories of like my week, like what happened this week, what happened next week. There's gonna be so many experiences. I can't wait. So now here, Kyodai Mike. Sorry, this is Mike Abroad. I was on my second channel the whole time. Laugh out loud. I'm going to Misawa this August, and I hope to see a lot of my friends and went back their home after the exchange. I hope I can meet you someday. Mike, absolutely. Hit me up, man, if you're ever in Osaka, or if I go to Tokyo and you happen to be there at the time. I'm not sure where Misawa is. I would look it up right now, but since I'm doing the live thing, I'm not going to. But if we can ever meet up, just hit me up, man. I'm gonna do meetups in the future. Thank you so much for the donation. I truly appreciate it. Cheers, man. Good luck. You're gonna love Japan, I think. It sounds like you. Oh, the friends that went back home after the exchange. So if this is your first time, man, I hope any content I make is like insightful. So, time to do a handstand naked. Nope. U.S. Pacific Northwest. Okay. All right, guys. I think. Let's get to the story. Here we go. People are getting mad. So I'm gonna leave the comments just kind of like chilling right here as we get going. I think I pretty much caught up and got most of your questions. So thank you all for the questions so far. Please follow me on SoundCloud, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter there if you can. As I'm going to explain basically for the next like half hour or so. I might need to get some coffee before we start this. So I'm going to tell the story and then we'll go do that. And I do have a date later, and I want to get a nap in because I'm really tired. I probably should stop drinking coffee, but let's see. I think, yeah, for like another hour or so, hour 15 minutes, we'll be doing the live stream. So welcome if you guys are just tuning in. I'm probably going to put a timestamp in the video because all of that, was just kind of random questions and it was really good. But for people who want to hear the story, timestamp is at, what are we at? Let's make a note. It's like an hour and 45 minutes-ish. And I'll put that in the YouTube video next time. For anyone who's watching now, not watching this live and wants to tune in, welcome. And thank you for tuning in. This is like, we've done live streams in the past, but I think this is the first half decent one that we've done. We finally have the chat set up. I have some graphics laid out here. I am currently in a Japanese net cafe, an internet cafe. I paid $13 roughly for 5 hours of some of the fastest internet I've ever seen. I'm in a room that smells like baby wipes. As we all know what people do in these rooms when there's porn available and the door is locked. So that's definitely a thing here. But I've got my hand wipes. I'm trying to stay somewhat sanitary here. and I'm going to be discussing basically my story leading from through about 3 years ago. I hope I get like the years and the dates right, but like roughly 3 years ago, my journey from knowing nothing or having no interest in Japanese culture or the language to now just getting hired as an assistant English teacher, an entry-level position, yet it's a full-time position, one where I can afford to live on my own. I'm getting a sponsorship from the company that I'm getting hired with in order to get a work visa. And I am a small YouTuber still loves to, but discuss Japan as I studied there for a year and experiencing things as an American and the things that surprise me, the things I love, the things I kind of don't like maybe. And I regularly post those kind of videos of like travel, and I put a lot of time into try to editing those and keeping them condensed and entertaining and insightful. But sometimes I like to do things like this, live stream in our podcast, where it's a little more open and I can ask more questions directly, or you guys can, and I can engage with you guys. So welcome. And let's get started, I guess. So I guess let's go back to what year would have been, 2014-ish, 2013-ish, where I was 2 years graduated from basically I started college and I didn't know where I wanted to go in my life, but I knew that I had an interest in studying abroad, or no, wow, I'm studying abroad is still on my mind, I accidentally said it. No, I had an interest in studying filmmaking. To me it sounded like fun. I was actually originally interested in graphic design. I applied for a school called the Portland Art Institute, which is a school in Portland, Oregon, United States, which I'm happy I actually didn't get into because it's very expensive, and I have a lot of friends who did do it, and luckily they were able to find work and they found their passion through it, and it all worked out for them. It's a very expensive private school, so alternatively, my friend suggested an alternative, not graphic design, but filmmaking program at a community college near me, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do filmmaking. I knew I liked to do editing as like a hobby, doing like home movies. When I was a kid, without going into too much detail, me and my whole family, mostly my brothers and friends, we made our own reenactment of Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, basically condensed the movie, like the top scenes into like a 15-minute movie, which we did back in the day, old school. We did it all in the camera, where instead of like recording a lot of footage, putting it into a computer and being able to move things around, you'd literally just hit record, stop, and then go to the next scene, set it all up, hit record, stop, and if you messed up, you had to rewind and erase. So you'd always end up, while you're watching, you'd get like a frame of like a mess up, because it was really hard to time it. Like it was all on like actual tapes. This was before SD cards. Like I'm getting old. So I knew I loved to do that, so it sounded like fun. So I applied for the program. I loved it. It was 2 years. Basically, you just learn how to operate DSLR cameras, how to edit on different operating softwares, and we at first did Final Cut Pro. Anyways, I did 2 years of that, and after I graduated, I didn't necessarily have a job right off the bat, but I knew that I wanted to take a break from school until I like figured things out. So I decided to apply for jobs and just kind of wait it out. So I was working part-time at for a while I was working part-time as a concert security, but I'm so small, I wasn't really a security, I was more like an ID checker. And while working there, we had a work party one day, like every year they have like a work party where it's open bar and anyone who works there can come and get free drinks and hang out. And I decided to go because I was just recently turned 21, so I was like super, very immature. I'm still immature, but I really look back at myself a few years ago. I was a very different person. I actually have an alternative channel if you really want to see who I was a few years ago. I mean, I was still me, but just very different. And I have a channel. It's called eMart, or I think it's called eMart, and eMart 5, I think is the channel. It's like in my featured thing on my channel if you want to look at it. I used to be really into video games and posting things about like virtual reality and stuff. So that was my first ever YouTube channel. And anyways, when I was at the work party, I remember I was like 7 drinks in. I was really drunk, and a bigger man approached me and came up to me. He was, it applies to the story. He was gay, and he comes up to me and he grabs my hair and goes, I'm trying to do the voice, but he goes, "Oh, honey, you need a haircut." Because at the time, I know people comment, they're like, hey, your hair's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. It's because of this guy. He's my barber to this day. This was 3 years ago. And I've been seeing him I go to get my haircut from this same guy. He works at a beauty salon in Portland. And a beauty salon for me at the time, just the idea of that was like beyond, like way too like feminine for me, way too like I was very different. And so I used to buzz my hair. I used to just have, if you saw it, my haircut was awful. It was just like I would just buzz it just even all the way around, and it was always just like fuzzy and like it was just so, just basic. And so I ended up talking to the guy, but I was obviously kind of like creeped out. I'm like, who is this? Because he's like touching my hair and stuff. But he was basically like, yeah, I work at a hair salon, and he was basically just kind of networking. He's like, if you ever want to get a haircut, maybe you can come and try, and I'll give you like a free haircut first and see how it is, because I was really skeptical. And I'm really happy I followed him up with that, because I hit him up and he gave me a haircut. I loved it. My hair was short at the time, so it wasn't like crazy, but just the way he cut it and just kind of the procedure and like they kind of shampoo and all that stuff, I was like, wow, it was such a new experience. But he did it for free, so I said, why not? And I almost didn't go. Well, a few months later, I'm still getting my haircut from this guy, and 3 months later, I think 3 or 4 months later, I mentioned to him that like, I'm working, but I'm working part-time. I'm still living at home with my parents, and I have no money. Like I don't know where I'm going in life. And I like to do video editing because I have a film background, but I don't really like doing, I like to edit more. I'm not as much a camera operator. I really hate film sets. I hate film sets. I think they're awful. I think when I do YouTube, they're fun because I'm in control of everything and doing everything, but I think being like a producer or a director sounds like the most stressful job in the world. So I mentioned this to him, and he said, well, hey, actually, I know a guy. He's a friend of mine. He's a producer. He just moved up here from Hollywood, and he has a company where they do a lot of sports content for like college schools and stuff, and they're actually looking for an editor. Like, would you be interested? And he's like, yeah, they work with Nike and Adidas. And for those who don't know, Nike is from where I live. I live in Portland, Oregon. It's from Beaverton, Oregon. That's where the main headquarters of Nike is. So everyone in Portland wears Nike stuff. I have some friends who can help me get discounts. And but when I heard the word Nike, I was like, dude, there's no way. Like I was just out of school. I had never had any like professional editing experience as far as like a hired position. So I wasn't really interested. I was like, man, there's no way. But he encouraged me. He's like, just email. What's the worst? They're just going to say no. Long story short, I got the job. I applied for it, and I told them like, hey, I'm new. I'm totally new, and I'm green. But if you teach me, I will learn, and I will work my ass off. And I did. I worked for 2 years. Unfortunately, 2 of the 3, so there was 3 owners of this company. It was just like a kind of a just started company. It had been out for our production studio for, there was one other editor, one other guy who was kind of a data management guy, like less editing, but he could edit, but he was more like when a shoot was done, he would manage everything and organize it. He was kind of an assistant editor. And then I was the new editor, and then there was one promotion guy who like kind of helped, like kind of our social media guy, I guess. And then there was three bosses. And the main boss was my boss, Jim. We still are in contact. I saw him just a couple months ago. Great guy. He's like a middle-aged guy from Hollywood, and he's very successful. I believe he was actually, he was one of the editors on Home Alone, if that puts a scale. He was the kind of like a what's the word? Not an apprentice, but he was kind of like the he learned how to edit under the editor who edited The Sound of Music, the movie The Sound of Music, one of the biggest movies of all time. He has the Oscar, actually, I think, in his home of that man, because they were very close, and that man passed away, and he has it. So he knows his shit. And basically, he started the company with 2 other guys, younger guys that were out of college and trying to looking to become producers. Unfortunately, those 2 guys were complete fucking assholes, pieces of shit, scumbag, dirt. And I say that if they're watching it, fuck you guys. Like, fuck you. You know why? I'm sorry, I got a little heated there. For the 2 years, again, it was my first job, so I wanted to work really hard. I figured like, okay, I'll say this. Like, it was really hard work, and I was getting like grinded and like working overtime and all this stuff. But I didn't mind doing it because it was like, okay, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. This is totally normal, right? Like, you start a job and you work your ass off for the first 5-10 years, and then you make something to yourself, you know. And I didn't mind doing it, but the problem is that my main guy, Jim, he was so high, like, in the company, kind of as a producer overseeing everything, that he wasn't the one looking over my shoulder and, like, bossing me around. It was these two other guys, complete fucking scumbags, and I thought it was just me who thought this. Like, maybe I'm just complaining. Maybe I'm just like, I used the word at the time. I called myself, like, am I just being a bitch? Like, am I just not, I need to man up or something? Like, what is this? I then realized that all the other people working there felt the same way. And it was a very toxic environment in that, like, we'd go out to lunch and the whole time we would just vent on, like, oh, he did this, oh, this, I have to do this, it's fucking sick. We'd go and, like, we started, like, we were having beers at lunch because we were just so stressed. They'd have me come in on Saturday. There was a period where they had me come in literally every day of the week, Monday through Sunday, just continuous for 12 to 15-hour days for, I think I counted it, it was almost 50 days straight. No, 60. It was almost 2 months straight of literally basically living in the office, it was slave work. It was a sweatshop. And I was getting money, but it wasn't, like, for the amount of work I was doing, it really wasn't enough money. They were abusive. They were abusive. And again, I thought it was just me. And after 2 years, I'm getting into the Japan stuff in a sec, but this all leads up because this is all like a big chain thing of meeting that guy and meeting Jim and then all this stuff. So basically what happened was, through that and all the stress and all that stuff, I got to a point in my life where I was like, man, I think I need to go back to school. Like, I think this is a great... That being said, I never burned the bridge. I think this is an important part of the story, is that although I put up with the shit and I hated it, and those guys can I fucking hate them. One, I learned a lot through Jim, because Jim was still there, and occasionally he would put in his insight, and I learned a lot about storytelling. I think I owe a lot of my editing skills, but I use that word, but you know what I mean. Any editing skills I have, I owe to that job, actually. And so it wasn't all a bad thing. It's just that it was a very toxic, it wasn't a healthy creative environment, and which it should be. It should be relaxed. You should be like motivating and hardworking, but not a sweatshop. And anyways, so about basically like a year and a half, 2 years goes by. While working at this company, I was living in an apartment with my friend Brett. If you guys have seen... Have I posted a video with Brett? Yeah, I have. There's a video I have where we went camping in Washington. I have more videos with Brett when he came to Japan last year that I'm going to upload. Him and I were living together, doing, I guess in Japanese, if you need a vocab word, futarigurashi, which is like two people living together. While we were living there, we hosted a party one night with like just some close friends, just kind of a kickback, just some food and like hang out and drinks. And one of his friends, who was coming to the party, asked if he could bring his roommate, who was an exchange student from Waseda University, Tokyo. And we said, hell yeah, that's cool. Like, I thought it was so interesting. I was like, oh, a Japanese person? Like, does he speak English? Like, oh, that's crazy. Like, of course, like, as an American without an interest in Japan, my first thoughts were like, oh man, like, I need to ask, because I was such a video game nerd, I'm like, I need to ask him about, like, Super Smash Brothers. Like, I'm sure he likes that game. You know, things like that. It was totally ignorant and, like, hilarious, but, you know, what can you do? And basically, so he brings this guy over, super nice guy. He's hilarious, even for Japanese and being like a very like polite and like shy person. Freaking hilarious, and the jokes he was cracking, even in like his kind of like, you know, not poor, pretty intermediate level English was great. We were doing. I suggested we do kamikaze shots together. Like, that's how comfortable we became. I'm like, kamikaze? He's like, oh, kamikaze, yabai. He's like, oh, kamikaze. But we did shots, and we played Smash Brothers together. And I still remember the joke he said, just because it's so funny. I've mentioned it before, but basically we were playing Super Smash Brothers, and it was a really close match between him and I. I was playing Marth. He was playing Captain Falcon. And it was the last stock. It's the last melon. We're on Final Destination. This is for all the marbles. And I somehow win. I beat him. And he throws his controller, gets on his knees, and puts his hands up and goes, World War II! We lose again! And we still reference that joke all the time. And I've probably said it on this channel like 3+ times. Anyways, as you can probably tell, through him, I became interested in Japan suddenly. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is so cool. Like, is this like what Japanese people are like? They're so nice. Like, this is so much fun. Like, so I called him up, like, hey, if you ever want to go get, of course I suggested, if you want to go get sushi or something, if you know any good spots, let's go or something. So we did. Through him, I met 3 other individuals, all from Waseda University. I'm still, you know, in contact with them. And when I told them I got the job, they all messaged me saying, like, dude, like, holy shit. Like, they were freaking out. And their English is very strong because Waseda University is a very prestigious school, so they are very smart individuals. He's actually becoming a comedian of all things soon. He quit a job. He was working as he was working at an insurance firm, or whatever you call it, just a company, and he found himself, he just got to a point where he's like, this isn't me, I'm making money, but I'm not an insurance guy, I'm a comedian, and he's actually doing it. He's like graduating from a program soon, and I wish him all the best. I'm so stoked for him. I can't wait to see him live. There's no way I'm going to understand his fast Japanese, but I've seen some of his stuff, and it's just his emotions, and he is fucking funny. So when he does debut, I'm going to promote the shit out of it, and you guys are going to help me support him because he's great. So when people ask, how did my Japanese interest begin? That's it right there. I met this one guy, and I was so impressed, and was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot Japanese food's pretty good, huh? Like maybe I can ask them about recommendations. So I started looking into that, and my first words I learned in Japanese. The first word I learned in Japanese was chukusho, which means shit. It literally means shit. So like if you're mad or something, if you guys watch anime, I'm sure you hear like chukusho, like it's one of like the few swear words that they have in Japan. And so yeah, and then we ended up hanging out. There's another guy from Tokyo that we became good friends. Shuya was his name, and is his name, and we went camping together. We did a lot of trips together and just had a lot of fun. So I always told them like, hey, if I ever go to Japan, like let's hang out. So let's fast forward a little bit. So that was probably about a year and a half into me working at that job, the sweatshop job, and again, I still do owe a lot to that job though, because one, it got me money, but it also led to like where I'm working with the Blazers now. The producer who's working for the Blazers was the other employee who worked there. So we have a very strong connection in that we both came from the same shithole, and we both we always bash about the sweatshop. And now I'm in the Blazer office, and people are like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, Eric, like get out of here, like go home, go home. And I'm like, I always reference like, oh, this is no sweatshop, and like, so that's really great. And so yeah, about a year and a half into that, I met the Japanese people from Japan, grew an interest, and then later the stream's still going, right? I hope I'm not just like, yeah, I think it's still going. And I got to a point with the job that I was really depressed, just because I was actually depressed. I found myself like coming home and just getting drunk every night because I couldn't handle the stress and just I kind of felt like I think one hard I'm not a person who has a lot of experience with a lot of depression. I know if anyone out here is battling depression, it's a very serious thing, in that you feel like no one cared. Like at least at the time, I felt like not that no one cared, but that I couldn't like express to people how I actually felt. Like even if I like complained and was like, yeah, dude, my job sucks, like I hate my boss, like, oh, I love Jim, by the way. If Jim's watching this, Jim, you are the man. I owe you so much to like where I've gotten just in my life, and I'm really thankful for that. The other two guys, they can fuck themselves. And I've lost my train of thought going through that. I'm sorry, but what was I saying? Yeah, I found myself depression. It got to the point where it's like I just felt like no one really understood, and I feel like people didn't understand what I was really going through. They thought maybe I was just venting, so like no one was taking me seriously, and I was actually depressed, and I was gaining a lot of weight. I was actually kind of fat at the time. If you look at pictures and like videos of me, not fat because the standard of fat is so ambiguous nowadays, but I was chunky. Like if you ask my little brother, he would say I was fucking fat. Like there's a picture of me with my shirt off. A friend of mine has a photo that's so funny. It's me like holding an inner tube, and it's like just because the inner tube's round and like my whole body was kind of like round and chubby. It's like it's so bad. Like it's so funny. If I ever find that photo. Actually, no, I don't know if I'll ever share it with you guys because it's embarrassing. Maybe someday. Maybe like, people said like, I'll do a handstand for $20. Like maybe I'll be like, all right, $20 gets you the photo. I don't know. I'm not trying. That's kind of a joke, but I don't really mind sharing it. Actually, I'd love to find it. It's on Facebook somewhere. Anyways, it's a sad story, but I was really depressed. I was coming home and just drinking like beers after beers, shots, cocktails, and just getting fucked up every night. Because it's just I felt just awful, and I felt kind of alone, and so I decided through the meeting my Japanese friends and stuff and having an interest, I said, you know what, I think it's time that I move home, like just get out of the apartment and go move back home and go back to school, because I'd like to I can't do this forever, and if anything I can maybe still work in film, but I need to get my bachelor's degree if I want to like have a life in the future. So I quit my job. I put in my weeks, basically like 3 or 4 weeks. So again, this was the important thing, is I never gave up, no matter how depressed I was or how like out of an alcoholic. I wasn't an alcoholic. If my mom's watching this, she's gonna be crying. Mom, I wasn't an alcoholic. I swear. I just found myself not in a good place, and it was not like I was like craving the bottle. It was just like I was just like, I'm gonna get drunk again. Like, I don't know. So I love you, Mom, and I'm much better now. I'm clean, and where am I here? I'm sorry. I keep getting lost as I go on these little tangents here. But basically, I decided, okay, I'm not going to burn the bridge, because I still want to use these guys as a reference, and I always can. I can say I've worked with Nike. That's a big thing if I can say that. It sounds cooler than it actually is, probably. And so I put in my 2, 3, 4 weeks. Said, hey, I appreciate what you guys have done for me. You guys have taken care of me so far and taught me a lot, but I really think it's time that I go back to school. And I feel like I'm kind of burnt out right now, and I think this is something I need to do. So I did. Really glad I did. I didn't know what I wanted to study, so I didn't really care. I just wanted a degree. So with a little interest in Japanese, I decided to go for a global studies degree originally. So my first year, which was, I guess, kind of not wasted, but kind of wasted. The Japanese was there, so that was good. But the classes I took for that whole year were kind of like a waste, because I'm now a Japanese major. But yeah, I was studying for a year. I was like, okay, and I'll use like Japanese as kind of like a minor almost, like while I'm getting like a big degree, I'll do this just because I'm interested, and I'm glad I did. I did 2 years of that in college, and through that, obviously, my interest in Japanese grew. I met more Japanese people. I had an interest in the language, and I found myself, because I think because I was coming out of such a shitty situation, out of such a like depressed mode, that finding something that like made me like excited and motivated and like happy, and not like, because like something with depression is you just have no drive, you have no motivation, you don't even want to get out of bed in the morning, you just want to like sit there. And this was the one thing where I was excited to come home and like study and show up to class prepared, and like I don't know, something about it, it kind of sparked something, I think, in my life. And so I did that for 2 years, loved it, and somewhere within that line, I decided, you know what, I think I'd love to study abroad for a semester. So I messaged my first friend. His name's Gyotaro, by the way, and the comedian guy. I messaged him because he was my go-to. I'm like, hey man, you studied abroad in America. Like, I kind of have an interest in Japan, but I'm really not sure if I can handle studying abroad. Like, I don't know if I'm made for it. Like, is it expensive? And he's like, it's very expensive. I said, oh shit, okay. How expensive is it? He says, well, you should ask the school. So that's what I did. I went and set up a meeting with basically the study abroad academic advisor, and say like, hey, I don't know anything about what I'm about to ask here, but I'm kind of interested in studying abroad. Japan is where I'd like to go. How much is it? And I asked basically just that question, and she said, well, actually, because we're sister school, and originally I wanted to go to Tokyo. She said, what city do you want to go to? I said Tokyo, because it's Tokyo, right? It's the big city, right? And she said, well, okay, you can go to Tokyo. It's going to be about 6 times as expensive, though. And I said, oh, well, what are the other options? She said, Osaka. And I was like, Osaka? I won't even lie. At first, I didn't want to go. I was like, Osaka? Like, what is that, like, boring? I was looking up some pictures, and I just saw pictures of Kyoto, and I'm like, yeah, there's shrines, but, like, is it fun? Like, I don't know. It looks kind of lame. And she said, well, the reason Osaka is my recommendation is that we're sister schools with a school called Kansai Gaidai University. And I went, okay. She said, that means that the tuition for Kansai Gaidai is the same that you're paying right now to be in America. And that was the moment where I rethought my college life for the next few years, in that I went, I could be living in Japan, having Japanese food, making Japanese friends, and learning Japanese, paying the same amount that I'm paying right now. Like, I'll backtrack a little bit. It is more expensive because you're traveling, rather, like, I was living at home at the time, so I had no rent. If you're studying abroad, you have to pay for your housing, you have to pay for your food, you have to, fend for yourself and stuff like that. So it is more expensive, but my tuition was the same. So if you happen to go to Portland State University, or any, there's a lot of universities in America that are sister schools with Kansai Gaidai. They call it basically the tuition, and is the same, or it was the same for me. So then I decided, okay, maybe I'll do a semester. I actually originally wanted to do 2 years. I was like, actually, maybe I could just study there and graduate there. But they basically told me, like, you can, but the programs they have are basically 1 year. And doing 2 years, it's kind of like a waste. Like, it's better for you to just go for a year and then come back and finish. And I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe that's actually a good thing. So then I started, at that time, that's, I think, when I started the YouTube channel, in that I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Japan. It's going to be so much fun. Like, oh, I've got to record it. I've got to record it. It's going to be such a fun experience. Like, are you kidding me? It's going to be crazy. And so I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I have my YouTube channel, the video game one. Like, maybe I could, like, promote it on there. Or maybe I could just use the same channel and make a new one. And that's when I decided, like, I would love to. I actually spent, like, a few months thinking about it. You know, as a guy who just got out of, like, film school and stuff, I'm like, I could actually maybe make a pretty cool channel with this. I can edit. I know, and I think the reason I realized it is I would Google, you know, other YouTubers, and again, I think Abroad in Japan was the one that I saw. That's like the Abroad in Japan is like that, I think, on YouTube right now, like the best, like, edited, the most interesting and the most well-deserved channel to be popular. That channel deserves to get so many subscribers. It's like stupid, and in my opinion, and so I said, okay, that's like the 10. But what else is there? Everything else, in my opinion, although the content and the things and the information they were giving it was useful and informative and interesting, it was terribly garbagely edited. I mean, it's basically like these kind of videos, and I don't want to bash the YouTubes out there. It's just, but you know what I'm saying is that that's not editing, and I'm not saying it's bad. I just thought to myself, you know, I would much rather be a channel that goes kind of the other approach in making like just a very well edited video, and I can edit. Like, I'll do that. So I started I got a GoPro. I was like, I'm going to start with just a small, cheap camera, kind of figure it out, dick around with it, and learn how to use it, and I did. Never used one before. And my first trial videos were my first videos on my channel, which I think those were some of the videos I put some of the most work in, only because my channel didn't exist yet. So I had all the time in the world. There was no one like expecting, or no one like, hey, where's your next video? It was literally like, what's going to be your first 3 videos for your channel? So I said, oh boy. So I spent a few weeks on those videos, and I encourage you to watch them, because it was me. Again, it was me just, I think it was 2 years ago at that point. 2 years? Almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half. But it was before Japan. So it was like, I have an interest in Japan. I'm still in America, but I'm going camping with some Japanese friends. I'll bring them along, and I'll make the video, and we can maybe like use that as a way to kind of like, you know, it's showing like Japanese experiencing an American experience, which was camping. It wasn't really camping. It was like our friend has a beach house, and we pitched a tent, but it was camping in that we did like, we shot guns, we had a barbecue, we did you know, burgers on just like a metal sheet. Like it was the barbecue kind of style, or camping style, but like in a nice, we were staying in a home. And but for Japanese students, it's a great experience, because like there's no guns in Japan. Outside of America, there's not really guns anywhere unless it's kind of like a, you know, war-torn country or something. And so that was really cool. I loved I think those are some of like my more proud videos, and they're different than what I do now, but they were fun, and I think they told a good story. And so that was the debut of Eric Abroad, and I wanted to debut, you know, anyways. So that's how Eric Abroad started. And then my whole goal was, I'm going to be studying for a year, so I'm making a channel, and while I'm abroad, I'm going to be posting videos once every couple weeks as I go along, and I hope you guys enjoy. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to post every week or every 2 weeks. It was more like once a month, every 2 months, because I was having so much fun in Japan and so busy. And even now, like, I'm here for the week just applying. I was applying for a job. I got the job, and I haven't spent a lot of time editing. But that's why I'm so excited for the future, because after I graduate, after I get the job, and once I have like a stable schedule and income and things like that, I can now schedule time to edit. Like, okay, on Monday I'm going to edit from this time to this time. I'm going to treat it like a part-time job, I think, and I'm so excited for that. But at the time I kind of couldn't, so I kept having to make videos to you guys and kind of apologize, like, hey, I know it looks like I'm not posting videos, but believe me, I have video footage up the ass. Like, I am recording so much footage. Just please. Luckily, my channel's still small, so although I'm making you guys wait, at least I'm not making millions, you know what I mean, a lot of people wait. But again, you guys know that I appreciate your patience and waiting for me, and that was what sparked the podcast later, as I got so busy I couldn't even edit once every month or once every 2 months. It was that bad. I like to spend, I think on a good video, I like to spend at least 2 or 3 full work days, like 8-hour days. Even the video that I'm really close to finishing it, like even before, I was hoping to post it while I was here, because I just need like another like 5 hours and it'll be done. But I just simply haven't found it. And But I think that's a good video too. It's gonna be fun. So that was part of the reason why the podcast started, was as I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to still be able to engage with you guys, because now I got way more subscribers than I ever thought I would. And so I felt like, people have questions, they're asking a lot of the same questions, so maybe in something like this format we can do that and tell my story like I'm doing right now. In my normal editing style, I can never get into such detail and answer such little nitpicky things. So I'm really happy that I'm able to do both, because I think it's going to, for those who do want to dive deeper and take the time, and even though my videos these kind of podcasts are long and pretty long-winded, for those who have the time and the interest, you can learn some more detailed things and hear some more funny stories that I have. That will hopefully help you in your decision or your ability to come and move to Japan in the future. And I really do hope that they help. And I thank you guys for those who... I had on my last video I posted a young... I don't want to say boy or girl because I don't know if they said, but I think I'm assuming it's a boy, but I'm not sure. 14-year-old kid who said, hey Eric, I've been watching your channel for a month, and I just asked my parents if I can study abroad, and they were against it at first, but then I showed them your channel, and they saw like how much fun I was having and how actually safe Japan is, that they agreed to let me study abroad when I turn 18, when I'm in high school. So I guess he'd be graduating high school at that point, pretty much, right? Yeah. So obviously, congrats. I don't have the username pulled up right here, but it's like the top comment on my previous video announcing that I got the job. So things like that. Like if that's an extreme example, but if in any way you're like, hey, like what you said here really helped, thank you. Believe me, I read all your comments, all of them, and I really appreciate them all. And that it's more motivating. Like, okay, I actually need to edit tomorrow, because like you guys seem to really actually be enjoying my channel and appreciating it. I'm sorry, I'm actually looking because I just want to make sure. I think I paid for 5 hours, but I set a timer, so I'm okay. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't get like charged or anything. But yes, so and you guys know the rest is kind of, the rest of the story. I was in Japan, had a great time. Really fell in love with the language more than I thought so. There was a lot of culture shock. I was surprised how like I mentioned, how westernized Japan is more than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be a lot more shrines and a lot more just like sushi and like and samurai and shit like that. And that stuff exists, but it's more of kind of like, it's like, okay, it's a fun, like, it's kind of like they say matsuri, it's like a festival or an event. Whenever it's like a matsuri or like an event, that's where people bring out like the kimonos and they eat like the traditional food, and because it's fun, like that's like and it's a great way to go on like a date or something. So that exists too. So I was surprised in that. At first I was a little sad and a little like disappointed, like, man, it's just like America everywhere. But that's not totally true. I think Tokyo that might be one of the reasons why I like Osaka better than Tokyo, to be honest, to switch to that topic. I'm not against Tokyo, and again, I told you I love Tokyo. I've been a few times and I really enjoyed it, and it was the first city I went to in Japan. Some of my first videos are from Tokyo, like the Odo Onsen, that was in Tokyo. And I think some of the reason that I don't like it as much, to be honest, is just that like it just feels like any other city. It feels like New York. It's so globalized and so westernized that I'm just like, I may as well be back in America. Like, why am I even here? But in Osaka, it's a lot more. There are, of course, if you go to the touristy spots, there's foreigners. But as far as people like living in Osaka, there's much less. And I know there are some YouTubers that do. I think, what's his name? I apologize. What's his name? Unrested? I think that's what it is. Unrested? Kind of the guy with like tattoos, kind of a punk rock guy. He's cool as hell. I think he's cool. I like to meet him. I think he lives in Osaka, actually. I think I'd like to meet that guy someday. Anyways, yeah, so I really fell in love with Osaka. I mean, the rest is history. You know the rest of my story. I loved it. I think the girls are really cute. My friends are so nice, and the Japanese omotenashi, the hospitality is just there. The food is incredible. I fell in love with the drinking culture, the drinking life, and I love drinking. Not depressed. I do it and I enjoy it, and it's a much more sociable thing. And I meet a lot of people through it too. I think that's why I like it, and I can practice my Japanese. And of course, whenever I meet someone for the first time, the first thing I usually say is like, "Oh, nihongo jouzu." Like they're impressed that I can speak Japanese, because it's, of course, I know it's a little rare. But once we get past that, if they're actually like, sometimes we actually become really strong friends, and I've made some really good friends through that, and I'm really thankful. And this week I've gotten, basically, I mentioned at the very beginning of this live stream that in Japan you have to schedule out your life and your like when you're gonna like work and when you're gonna play and like all that stuff, work hard, play hard kind of stuff. You have to really schedule it out basically to the hour. I'm sorry, I'm talking so much that I'm like going in and out here. So this week, basically, I had a plan every single day. I was like, I'm going to meet this person on this day. We're going to go here. I'm going to go. But normally, I don't. If I'm like traveling to a new country, like if, say, for example, right now, I flew to France or I flew to Germany, I would not do that. One, I don't have friends in France and Germany, so it's okay. I would go with just a little knowledge of what I'd like to do. Like, for example, Germany, I'm going to Oktoberfest, for example, because my image of Germany is beer and sausages, so I'm going to do that. I would go with basically like, okay, when is the event and where is it and where am I staying? Okay, that's it. And past that, nothing. Like, I think that's basically what I did in Japan. It was just like a trial. That whole last year was just me. I'd get lost. I missed the train. I'd end up, again, I said lost, but really I get like lost, like where the fuck am I? My phone's dead. I can't speak Japanese, like what's going on? I tried new foods. I would find things that I like, things I don't like. Found friends that I like, friends I didn't like, the ones that were only liking me for being American, which isn't a bad thing, but I realized, okay, those aren't actually my real friends. I can be nice to them and they're really kind to me, but my real friends are these kind of people. It was a great trial to really see if I think I could handle living in Japan. And I as you can tell, I'm going to be moving here, and whether or not I make it is yet to be seen. But I'm feeling really confident in that I can, and that I know that I love being here, and I loved the year. Again, I was studying abroad, so that was more of a party. We kind of just after school, we just go out and stuff. But now I'm actually going to be living here. I'm going to be living frugally because I have to pay back all that money that I spent. And yeah, hopefully mature. Hopefully, and I guess I need to talk about the Japanese job. So I come back from America, right? No, let's backtrack. I'm still in Japan. It's the second semester. It's the winter, and in Japan, summer break isn't. There's no summer break. It's actually from January to March. It's the spring break that's the long break, because in Japan, New Year's is the biggest holiday, bigger than Christmas, bigger than all that stuff. That's the holiday. It's basically like 3 days in January. It's called Oshogatsu. Yeah, right. It's Shogatsu. Basically, it's a very family holiday where you eat like traditional food with your family, and you basically pray and wish for like the next year to be like fulfilling and like prosperous. At the time, actually last year, I was back in America during that time because I had a break between semesters, so I came home for a week or so to see friends and things like that. And so I haven't experienced it yet, and even with my host family, I wouldn't have been able to anyway if I even was still here, because it's like their thing. But from January to March, I still had school starting in, I think, February. So February and March, I was still in school, but no Japanese students were there. They were all on break. They were all at home. And I was bored because it was literally just like some like the like, I don't know, a couple hundred foreign students, but I didn't want to speak English while I was here because my time was so limited. So I instead used that time to edit a little more. And also I was doing two Eikaiwa classes, which is like an English conversation course. One with a friend, a Japanese guy who is a friend of a friend who works at a bar in Namba, and he encounters foreigners from time to time, and he likes to travel. So he's like, he just wants to pick up some like useful English and even some slang. He loved like dirty words and stuff. So I was meeting with him once a week. It was great, and his Japanese was at a lower level. So for me, as like a guy who doesn't actually know how to teach English, it was great because I could basically just talk to him and like, okay, here's some phrases that I use, and I tried to take it very seriously. Every week I'd prepare like a lesson. We'd meet for 2 hours. I'd set up like an example, like, okay, we're going to read through a story scenario, like with a script. I'll be A, you be B, and then we'll switch. Here's a vocab list for the week. Please learn all these words and study them. Here's some useful phrases. And then we'd play like a word game or something, like where, what's the game, like, what's it called? Taboo, where there's a word and you have to explain it in English for me to understand it. I had a lot of fun doing that. It was a great experience. So at the same time, I was doing another one with a man from the Philippines. He's an English teacher here in the Philippines, but his English is fluent. Like he's an English teacher. He's a very good English teacher. He's my fellow coworker, my senpai, and he's the one who got me the job. Long story short, I guess I just spoiled it, but we were doing the Eikaiwa class together, meeting once a week at a Starbucks. And again, I would prepare some stuff, but because we already spoke English, like he already knows English, I didn't have to teach him new words and stuff, really. It was more he just wanted someone to talk to. And if there was anything I prepared, it was American English, because that's what that was why we did the classes. He wants to improve his American English accent, because he does have an accent, being from the Philippines, of course, but his English is fluent. And he understood what I said. Like when I'd speak this fast, like right now I'm speaking really fast, my throat's getting dry, it kind of hurts. He understood it all. Understood it all. So the first few weeks, I made some lessons. Basically, I did research on how the American English accent works, and would show that to him. So like the way the accent, like, you know, in contrast to British. So car instead of ka, and like what's another example? Like, so like for example, like a word like matter. There's two T's in there. Even though it's a T, we don't say matter. We say matter, like a D. But it sounds the same as like I'm getting matter, and the matter. Rules like that, you know, the little things that like we do in American English that makes it American English. And so I think for the first month, like once we did that, but then I basically taught him everything there is. I was like, well, that's all the English American accent rules. So now I gave him all like my files, and I sent him like the file plus gave him the papers. We'd watch a little video together and be like, so that's the example. Like I'd find it on YouTube. I think I tried to be as make it as good as a class as I could as a guy with no experience. And he was really appreciative. He said, Eric, like, you're a really good teacher, actually. Like, even though you have no experience, like, I'm learning a lot. And I'm like, thank you. You know, I think he's just being kind. But I basically told him my story about, like, man, I'm really loving Japan. And by the way, just really quick, I also volunteered at a kindergarten 2 or 3 times. I met a woman in a park. I was actually in a park just reading a book because it was a really good day. And I said, I'm going to grab a beer and get some of my studying done in the park. And I was just sitting there, and one old man approached me and was talking to me in English. That's one thing I learned. If you're an American and you sit in a park, you will be approached by old people who want to practice their English. So get ready for that. An old man was talking to me, very, very kind, very kind. But it is kind of like the why are you here? I've been in America. Like, I had a friend who was in the war, you know, things like that. And it's kind of the same conversation every time. So it's kind of like, okay. But then a woman came up to me, and she was speaking very good English. And she said, like, yeah, like, she's a part of like a club where once a week they meet and speak English together. A bunch of like, it's like 6 grandmas. And I was impressed. I was like, really? That's so cool. And she said, hey, I have a friend who works at a kindergarten. I don't know if you'd be interested, but like, if you'd let us, like, maybe I can buy you lunch sometime, and then afterwards you can teach and volunteer at the school. Like, they're kindergartners, so like you'd be saying words like puppy and green and left and right. So like, if you'd ever want to do it, please let me know. And at the time I knew, like, in the future I may actually want to come here through an English teaching position. So I said, hell yeah. That's another big part of like my story is any opportunity you can get to get something that's worth putting on a resume, do it. Even though I kind of complained about my editing job that kind of led to this, I learned a lot through it, but also it's still a reference I use today. And because the main guy, there's actually a good ending to that story. The 2 assholes that were seriously pieces of shit, after I quit, like a few months later, the main boss finally like actually realized the extent that they were being like abusive, because they tried to buy out their half of the company, but it was like in a scummy way. They were basically like, hey, we're gonna like take our half and run off with it, even though they didn't have the right to do that. And long story short, the main guy, he sued him and he won. Basically, without going into detail, the lawyer was like, how much money do you want to take from these guys? Because they basically just tried to run off with their part of the company, and it didn't happen. And when they finally had like a settlement, the lawyer said, like, these guys are fucked, and if you wanted to, you could ruin them and make them homeless right now. But luckily, my main boss Jim is not that, and he gave him a slap on the wrist as far, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna sue him for this much money. But it wasn't like a ridiculous amount, but it was definitely enough for it to hurt, for it to sting. And so after that, Jim had gotten in contact with me saying, Eric, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I really didn't know the extent that these guys were, you know, being abusive to you guys. So there is a happy story to that, in that it wasn't just me. It wasn't just my coworkers, and we weren't just being bitchy. It was actually like a problem, and he recognized it eventually. It's just that he wasn't aware of it at the time. So that's just like a side twist there. So luckily that company's going in. But anyways, Oh man, I'm the worst. I apologize. I keep losing my train of thought. But basically, gosh dang it. So I knew that I wanted to teach. Yeah, okay. Oh, what I was saying was that yes, even though it was like shitty and all that stuff, it's still a reference I can use. And now that those assholes don't work there anymore, and the main boss is still there, he'll always vouch for me if I, say stuff. And we love to just chat and like hang out. And he's seriously one of the nicest guys I know. So it paid off for sure. And so I volunteered at the kindergarten too, and I'm even using that now in my process to get my work visa. My boss asked me to supply him with basically like a resume of like my volunteer experience with English. Growing up, I mentioned at the beginning of my stream that I grew up in the church, so I used to go on trips occasionally to California. I went once to Serbia in Europe, doing basically it's like a church children's English camp thing. Again, I told you now I'm not a part of the church anymore, but it is. I'm not a churchgoer anymore, but it's still something I can use on a resume. Like, yeah, I've worked with kids, and even if it was just like kind of goofing around, it was something professional. I have done it. Yes. So basically, I met with the man I had mentioned from the Philippines, and I told him like I'm really interested in coming back here, man. I really love this country, and I really don't see myself living in America right now. Like, I don't want to go back to that shitty job. I don't want to forget my Japanese. Like, I really want to stay here. And he offered, saying, well, actually, Eric, the company I work for, we are a pretty new company, and we're small, and we're getting more and more students, and we need more teachers. But all of the teachers right now are from the Philippines, which is great, but we don't have any like native English speakers, like American or British, Australian native English speakers. If you want, Eric, I can give you the contact information of my boss if you'd like to talk with him, meet with him, or do a Skype interview when you're back in the States to apply for a job position here. And, at the time it sounded too good to be true, but long story short, I got that job. I got it 3 days ago. I went back to America, and I got in contact with his boss and said, and luckily I can speak Japanese, and I hope this doesn't, I'm not trying to lessen the reputation of the man who helped get me the job, because I owe him so much, and he's a very, very good English teacher, but he doesn't speak like fluent Japanese or as much as I can speak, which is totally fine, because again, he's an English teacher. He doesn't need to. But I think that helped me, even though he was already like a professional teacher, so he has that, but I don't. So for me to like be able to talk with the boss and say like, hey, I'm new. I do have experience volunteering. I have done some Eikaiwas in the past, and luckily the man I did it with was my coworker, so he was vouching for me and things like that, and saying, oh, he's such a good teacher. He's the nicest guy ever. So thanks, man, for real, from the bottom of my heart. And I did a Skype interview with my boss, and I actually didn't even have a video. It was just audio, and I had video, but he didn't, so I didn't even know what he looked like. We do the interview. I was dressed up in I had a tie, I had a shirt on. It's like totally like an interview. I had practiced for like a week the things I was going to say, and practicing my polite Japanese, the keigo. And we did the interview. I told him my story. He said, well, why do you want to come to Osaka, and all this stuff. And I basically told him a 2-minute version of what I just told you all of you guys. Like, I went to school for film. I quit. I started studying Japanese out of interest. Studied abroad. Loved it. Would love to come back. I have a little experience teaching English, but even though I don't have like professional experience, I am a native English speaker. I am studying and plan on continuing to study Japanese, so that will help if I need to communicate in either of those. And I'm also a native English white American, and I think being able to say like we have an American teacher at our school will be beneficial to your company. So, if it's okay, I would love to apply for the position and learn underneath the teachers that are already there as basically an assistant teacher. Like I am a teacher, but it's more of an internship, I guess. But I am getting like the full salary, all the bonuses, all the benefits, all the insurance. They're going to help me find an apartment, all this stuff. Basically, we had that interview, and the following day he emailed me saying like, Eric, I really appreciate what you told me last night in the Skype interview, just making sure I'm still alive. And if you come back or if you're interested, let me know when you're going to graduate, and we'd love to talk further about getting you to work here. So obviously, when I heard this, I freaked the hell out. I went crazy. I went bananas. But I then had to like slow down and be like, okay, wait a minute. I've never even seen this guy's face. I don't even know like what he looks like. I don't know where it is. I really don't know much about it. I've just done the interview saying I'm interested, and they offered me the job. So it was hard for me to I didn't want to get too excited because I didn't have anything in writing. I didn't have any confirmation other than that him just saying like, yeah, we're interested. So like next time you come to Japan, let us know, we can hang out. That's why I'm here this week. I basically said, he said, do you have intentions to come back to Japan before you graduate? And I said, I don't. But if you are interested in hiring me and you would like to meet in person, chokusetsu ni, which means like directly, please let me know, and I will try and find like a cheap plane ticket and a cheap hotel and try to work it out so that we can meet. I'm here now, staying in a cheap hotel. I found a cheap plane ticket. It was an awful flight. It was 20 hours flying through Canada and China to get here. My back still hurts. And we finally met. I guess, I could talk for a while, but like basically he was just like, basically you can come to the school, and you can just be in the class and just watch how we do our class for the whole day. And after an hour, they asked if I could like get involved. They're like, hey, actually, can you help out with these kids, like, and to help out with their homework? And they had some homework, and I was like helping them out. And because I can speak Japanese a little bit, and the other teachers they can, but it's kind of like simple. I was able to like explain things that they really didn't understand. They're like, wait, I don't understand this word, and their English is so good. Some of these kids, like, you know, some of them are like 4 years old, 5 years old, and older, and they don't speak very well. Some of these kids are there almost as like a daycare. Maybe their parents are busy, so their parents pay a lot of money to have these kids here. It's actually kind of expensive to have the kids in this school. So the kids that go, their parents, you know, expect them to work very hard and seriously. So some of these kids, seriously, they were talking to me in English, which in Japan, I know that sounds just kind of like, okay, what's the big deal? That's a big deal. If you have a native Japanese kid who's never been to America, never been outside of the country, and it's a kid speaking to me in my like language, that I was blown away. There's two kids in particular who literally like, they'd be like, what does this word mean? I don't understand. And like I was like, oh, okay, and I'd explain it to them, and they say like, I kind of understand. And if they didn't, I could go even further detail in Japanese, and they go, oh, so you got like that's what it means. Okay, and they totally knew it, and they had the spelling. And just watching how my coworker, the man who got me the job, works with the kids, it was almost like a father, like to the boys at least, it was like a father-son, father-daughter relationship. He was firm yet like nice, you know what I mean? Like when the kids started goofing around, he'd slam the table and go, hey, like get back to studying, and the kid would be like, okay, and they'd listen. But it wasn't like abusive. It was like, and then right after, like, okay, we're gonna play a game now. We're gonna play a game. You wanna play Uno? One of the kids, he loves to play Uno. I think we played like 12 games of Uno. I was sick of it by the end of the day, but it was so fun. I was so tired, but we spent a whole day going through that, and I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I might work here. Like, I could totally do this. You kidding me? Like, because I personally like kids, or I love kids. But one of my biggest things is I think that I can be too friendly with kids sometimes, so like I'll let them like wrestle around with me or punch me or whatever. But if I want to be a teacher, I can't do that, at least not as a first impression. That's not good. As I can't let them just like walk over me, you know. I gotta teach them. I gotta be their teacher. I gotta be their mentor. So watching him work was just a really eye-opening experience for me, and like just I'm gonna learn a lot from him, I think. And I'm excited to kind of figure out my own way of becoming a teacher and being getting the kids motivated to study, but also having a fucking blast. It was so much fun. And by the end of the day, I wanted to just go to bed. But afterwards, the plan was, all right, Eric, we're going to have you just sit the main boss, he's like, hey, I'm busy today until like 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. So why don't you hang out in the class all day and meet all the kids. And I brought my notebook. I have all their names written down, so I'm going to make sure I like memorize them. I met their parents, a few of them. They were all really surprised, like, wait, you're the new teacher? Like this. They use the word, they're like, otokomae, which means basically like handsome. So obviously I'm like blushing. I'm like, oh, thanks. And he even introduced me to my boss later in the day to one of his other classes, which isn't English. It's just a Japanese class, but they're middle school students. And I think that's one of the things, a perk for him. And I'm probably going to get used in that way, which is totally fine. That's partly why I got the job, is that he can say like, hey, we have an American. Do you want to meet an American? It's like such a rare thing. So when I went into the class, like all the girls like, oh, kakoi, so cool, yeah. And all the guys were like, oh, this guy's so cool, like, you know. So we basically just had like a Q&A, and in English, we're like, okay, let's ask questions in English. But their English was obviously pretty low in junior high. It's not expected to be very high. So then the teacher was like, do you have questions in Japanese? And then they had like all these questions, and I was able to answer and even use the little kansai ben because I'm older. So like I was still being polite, but sometimes like if they said something, like one of the guys would say something stupid or a joke, I'd be like, aho, not, I didn't call him an aho, but it was basically like, I don't know. That's a bad example. I didn't say that, but I would say something a little kansai ben, and they thought it was so funny just to see an American. And then like I took pictures with them and stuff like that. So That was fun too. But my class will be with the kids, which I'm happy because you don't get that treatment with the kids. They actually don't care. They're like, oh, you're American? Okay, and like that's it. Like they don't really give a shit. So I think that's great because it gets tiring. It gets exhausting. I know it sounds like oh, it's tiring having so much attention all the time, but no, really, it is. Like I kind of hate it sometimes, especially because it's the same thing every time. It's like, oh, you're so cool. Why are you in Japan? Again, I've mentioned that before, but it's just like you kind of have to like play the role. They're like they see an American and they expect you to be American. They're like, oh, so like what hip hop do you like? What are your favorite movies? Like, do you like Justin Bieber? And it's just like I kind of have to like nod my head to all those questions, and I now kind of have shotgun answers for that. But anyways, we that was the day, and then at 8 p.m. it was time to clock out, and he said, okay, Eric, like dude, I rode with my boss on bikes. In Japan, bicycles are big. He said, hey, we have an extra bike. We're going to go to the main office, and if you want to talk face to face, have one last interview, and if you want the job, we can do paperwork. I said, holy shit, yes. So he also loved the fact that I work with the Blazers because one of his favorite basketball players is Damian Lillard, which is on the Blazer team. So he's like, oh, please get his signature. Like his English actually isn't that strong, even though he's the main guy. He's the owner of like a few schools. Basically, is basically what it is. The main they call him the shacho, and he's just like the main guy, the owner. And but we met, so he was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, please get me a signature. So I was like, okay, cool. I already have like one connection with this teacher already. He's a super nice guy. I think he's in his younger 30s, and he started the company just 2 years ago. And really, my friend, because I never know. In first impressions, they might be nice, but deep down they're assholes. Like my other job in the past. But my friend was seriously like, Eric, this man is one of the nicest men I've ever met. I've asked for like advances on my like salaries before, and he's obliged to it. Just work your ass off for him, and just really show your appreciation, and he'll pay it back. And so we met. He was really funny, really kind guy, and I was able to do it, in my Japanese. If I ever made a mistake, he didn't mind because none of his other staff speak Japanese. The fact that I was trying meant a lot to him, I think. And basically we met, and he said, okay, well, like I have a meeting with some teachers. Do you want to meet them? Because he was having like a meeting, kind of like motivating, like okay, like just recapping like the last month because he owns a few schools. So it was actually kind of nerve-wracking because he pulled me in. And like all these teachers just go like, who is this guy? And I sat down and he's like, okay, well, I want to introduce you guys to a teacher that may work here. His name's Eric. Please do your Jiko Shokai. So it's like your self-introduction. And it actually caught me off guard because I was ready to do my introduction for him. But, well, I'd already done it in the interview, so I didn't do it for him. I was ready to do it for like the students, but they didn't have me do it for the students because like maybe when I'm officially there, I'll do like, okay, like, hajimemashite, like, nice to meet you. Explain I'm from America, I'm going to be working here, yoroshiku, like, all this stuff. I wasn't ready for this one. I didn't know we were going to do it, actually. So I get up there, and I'll admit, it was really bad. It wasn't good. I fucked up a lot. And it was just like, I'm American. I found this job through a friend, and luckily I was able to happily meet my, it's Umemura-san, is my boss, and I didn't know, like, who they were. Like, even if they were, like, teachers of this school, I had no idea who they are. I was like, well, like, これからお世話になりますから like or no de, like because like from now on you guys like I thank you for like taking me in and I hope that we can work together whatever but I'm saying it nicer than it was bad like it wasn't I was nervous I was kind of like my voice was going crazy but they don't care they were just happy they probably thought it was cute that I was trying so hard and getting so nervous but afterwards they all came up to me and they like remembered. The thing is like whenever someone does a Jiko Shokai, really try to remember their name. I'm really bad with names, and I had to write down everyone's names in a notebook, especially when they're Japanese because they're kind of hard to remember sometimes as an American. I'm talking really fast, and but they came up to me after my Jiko Shokai. They're like, okay, so you said your name was Martin Eric. Like, do you prefer Martin or Eric? And I was like, oh, Eric, please call me Eric. And they're like, oh, okay, very very cool, very nice man. And they were to one guy. I asked him, I was like, so what is your name? And he said, oh, I am Giant. I'm Giant. People call me Giant. And I was like, well, what's your name? He's like, I'm Giant teacher. Because he's like 6 foot something, which in Japan is pretty rare. Really like handsome, middle-aged guy, but just like he's hilarious. Speaks a little broken English, so he was telling me stories and like so funny. It was just it couldn't have gone better. Basically, is the recap to this whole thing. And I couldn't believe. I was like, maybe are they just like. When like there's like documentaries of North Korea where if you go on a tour they like tell you how good it is even though it's like the worst country ever in the world like oh we have this and we have so much good like grocery stores and it shows like if you've seen that movie, what's that one, The Interview or whatever, but that shit's real apparently. And I was kind of feeling like that. I'm like, are they just putting a show and like in a month they're gonna like just work me to the bone? But I met with the boss later. He's like, all right, Eric, do you have any questions one-on-one before like are you interested in the job? And I said 100% please. I want to start as soon as possible if that's okay. So he showed me a contract that had all the information. He's like, if there's anything that's missing, please let me know. And I asked him like, can you pay for my plane ticket when I come? Because I paid for this trip, but like when I'm officially hired, will you actually like pay for it? And he said, yes, we'll pay for it when you come, because it'll be a one-way ticket to Japan. That's crazy. And the whole day I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, wait, this is too good. Is this real? It's happening. I'm signing. He has my passport. Well, that sounds scary. But they need a copy of the passport to file for my work visa and stuff. But yeah, I filled it out. I signed all the paperwork. He signed as well. He gave me a copy. I have my copy back at my place. I took pictures of it, make sure I have it. I start assuming that I can get my work visa with no issue. I am hoping to get my visa in July, maybe August of this year after I graduate in June. And assuming nothing goes wrong with the visa, I start working in Japan this fall. And that's my story. I know that was long. I think that was about an hour or so. So I hope that was... I know I ramble and I kind of go off on tangents, but that's my story. And I think it's the first time I've told it in that like level of detail without being like 2 beers in. Like sometimes with a friend, I'm like, all right, you ready for a long story? And he's like, hell yeah. And I'm like, okay, time me. And I told that story a few times, but now you guys know. This is the first time it's like out in the public, I guess, that whole like series of events. So as you can see, for me, it was basically like one series of good luck and bad luck and learning from the bad luck and like using it. Like I said, with the job, I was still able to make the best of it, not burn the bridge, and use it in order to get other work and apply for other stuff. Even through that job, I now have a part-time job. Even the day I get back, the next day I'm cutting a video for the next game. I have to do a little research and see like who we're playing, and I haven't really been watching how the Blazers are doing lately. But ever since we got Nurkic, man, we've been killing it. Nurkic is crazy. Nurkic fever is unreal. If you guys like basketball, I'm not like I don't have a huge interest in basketball, but now that I work with the videos, I do my research and like I know a lot more about the players, and I'm actually kind of growing an interest. It's actually pretty fun to watch. So you might see me become a new basketball fan here, but yeah, that's my story. Again, that was basically from the start of that story. It was about 3 years ago until now, and I'm 24 years old. I turn 25 next year. I don't have professional experience teaching English, but I have volunteer experience, and I had some connections that I met, and without those connections, basically, so if you go back to the beginning of the story, you know how I told you guys I was working as a security guard and I met the guy who cut my hair? Really? If I had never met that man, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have met Jim and gotten my 2-year job doing video editing. Even though I wouldn't have had the money to live with Brett in an apartment because it was expensive living in Portland. I wouldn't have met my friend Yotaro. I wouldn't have grown an interest in Japanese. Maybe in the future in some other way, but at least in the way that it worked out for me. Without meeting Ryan, I just said his name, damn it. But I guess, yeah, Ryan is his name. Ryan, if you're watching this, I love you, man. And he knows this story. I've told him this story, and I've told him multiple times, like, you are really the reason why I'm here. Or at least you are what started it. And him showing me that appreciation or that kindness, and I try to show my appreciation back in any way I can, because I owe everything to him. So I owe everything to a lot of people, because then there's my coworker as well who got me the job. At the end of the day, man, it's not people ask like, what did I do? It's more like, what did people do for me? And I know that sounds cheesy, but it's really true. It's what did people do for me to lead to this, and then I realized I like this and that, and then people do this, and it's led and snowballed, and it's been a wild ride for both me, but also like my friends and my parents who were like, wait, so you're moving to Japan? Is this just like are you just like depressed and just want to like, you know, people like want to just like drop everything and move, and then after a month they realize that it's like stupid and they come home. I think that's what a lot of people assumed, and I was one of my biggest motivations with people ask, what is your motivation for Japanese? There's a lot of reasons. I have good friends. I want to speak it. I want to try good foods. I want to travel. I want to be comfortable. The biggest reason I try so hard and try to stay positive and really encourage people to study Japanese is to prove to the doubters out there who really weren't sure, like, if I really liked Japan, if what I was just saying was just kind of like a fad and just like a phase that I'm going through. It's to prove them any of that doubt wrong, and to show them that I do mean it. And obviously through YouTube is kind of one of them. I'm starting to choke up. One of those avenues now that I can obviously, one, because I don't want to be, I think what YouTube is great for, to put it in other words, is for me, is I feel like I've discovered like this gem of like this, not just Japan existing in the world, but just like this can apply to anything in life. I think finding like a dream, finding a country to move to, finding the motivation, fighting the fear of not being able to make it in a new life. And if your motivation is high enough, knowing that you can, showing people that it's possible. And I hope, you know, who knows, I might not make it. In a couple of years, I might end up depressed and be like, I'm going back to America, Japan sucks. I don't know. I don't think that's the case, and I really hope it's not. For some people, that has been the case, and I've seen it on YouTube. Some people, they kind of fall apart, and it's kind of, you never know. It's one of those things, you never know. And I think me being able to share this experience with you guys, holy shit, am I tearing up? Is to not be selfish with what I've discovered, I think. Discovering my own like motivation in life and this kind of pursuit, and how proud I am of myself, but also am equally so grateful and thankful for the people who are really responsible for me getting here, and that I owe everything to. And obviously, shout outs to my parents to not freaking out and telling me, no, I can't go. They were probably confused. I know they are, probably still are. And freaking out and just like, Eric, this is so random. You're studying film and then you're going to Japan to teach English. Like, what is that? I probably freaked them out, and I probably still am. But I owe, for them to just trust that, you know, this is what he wants to do, and to let me do my own thing. And luckily, so far, it seems like it's working out. And I started YouTube as a way just to like kind of share with people my experience, but you guys have subscribed and supported me so much that it's getting to a point where, I mean, I got 19,000 subscribers the other day. I started this just as like more of a diary for myself, just to like, oh, I can share it, but it's like, so I don't forget memories. And I like editing. It keeps me busy. It's a fun hobby. And then I got all these other people like you guys that are interested equally in Japan. Like, hey, I want to do the same thing. Hey, I'm doing the same thing. Hey, I did the same thing. Or Japanese individuals who want to learn English and maybe come to America. And people who maybe don't even have an interest in Japan at all, but can apply it to their lives in some way. I wasn't planning on it, but this YouTube could potentially become a part-time, if not, I mean, this is like a dream, but a full-time thing. Probably not a full-time thing, but you know what I mean. I think for now I'm keeping my day job. Don't worry, I'm not quitting. Keeping the day job. I worked really hard to get that day job, but I'm going to try not to cry here, but I really thank you guys. Really, you, and when I say you guys, I mean you, I mean all the people who've supported me, but anyone, my Japanese friends, anyone who have encouraged me to stick with it, and just has made my life fucking awesome for the last 2 years, and I hope for it to continue to be awesome as I come and move to Japan in the fall. The fact that I was like looking for apartments the other day, and I was on the IKEA website planning out what I'm going to buy, getting that contract in my hand was real. And again, I'll never act or pretend like I'm a master of Japanese culture or the Japanese language, or a master of how to like make it in life, or like there's some gurus that are like, in life it's not about just following this path, it's about finding your own path, man. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to share what I like, this experience with you guys, and my failures and my successes, and so far my luck, I guess I'll say. I hope to share it all with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride, and I hope it helps you guys to decide whatever you're going through in your life, or if you're battling, like I said, for a while there I was actually depressed. I hope that you can find something that gets you out of that, and because I know that depression is a lonely battle, and it's a solo battle, and yep, that's basically the story. I don't want to get too sad here, but I really am thankful, and I can't believe that this is happening. And there's a part of me that always worries that I'm going to walk out the door and a car is going to hit me and it's going to end. I don't know why I worry that. I think it's because I've worked so hard. I feel like something stupid's gonna happen and it's just all gonna end. And I worry about that, so I've been like super cautious now in my life. Just like, okay, I can't die yet. I gotta get to Japan first, then I can die. I can die in Japan, that's fine, but not yet. So I truly thank you guys. I really do, and I really, really, really look forward to where this channel is going to be in the next few years, and the ideas that I've had of the possibilities are so limitless, especially as my Japanese gets better. I'll have much more confidence and much more ability. I should probably speak proper English, huh, if I'm going to be a teacher. Is that even proper? A much stronger ability to communicate in English and to be able to get lost. Maybe hitchhike around Japan that'd be a fun video series, huh? Hitchhiking Japan as an American. That's not a bad idea. We should do that. I know my friend Masa, in my previous videos, he's done it before. I'm going to ask him. Would you guys want to see that? Where should I go? Holy shit, that's a good idea. Anyways, maybe hitchhiking, doing interviews in the streets with Japanese people, practicing English, interviews with my teachers. I'm going to show you guys the school if they allow me. I'm going to obviously wait and establish myself first for a few months, but maybe I can introduce you, show you guys the kids I work with, a day in my life. And again, I would love to do meetups. Oh yeah, and keep going. I want to do like how to cook Japanese food at home. Recommended places to eat in Japan because I love the food here. The onsen life is great. I'm going to continue the podcasts and of course just traveling in general. Like going on that's where this channel has started. It started with just traveling and just recapping that into a story and sharing it with you guys. And eventually I'm going to have to get a website or something for all these categories because showing up on the channel, it's going to be such a mash of so much random stuff. I'm going to need to organize this a little bit. But YouTube now has this live streaming shit, so maybe my podcast series will not be a podcast series. Well, okay, I think I'll always do that, but like, never mind. Podcast is going to continue. Don't worry, because I like posting on SoundCloud and iTunes and allowing people to listen on that as like an audio platform. But maybe I'm going to start doing the podcast as well as these live streams, maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. Because this is fun, but to be able to engage like this is like, you guys deserve to be able to interact with the person that you're supporting so much. And someone mentioned Patreon in the future. Again, I haven't even thought about that shit, but if by chance the channel grows to a point where I'm like, oh my god, I can actually make a little money or maybe start paying rent with YouTube, we'll figure that out. And of course, I'll never demand money from people. I'll never like hold back money from people. But if it does lead to a way for me to be able to like live in Japan and put out more content, that's the thing is I would never ask for money or offer the ability to be able to donate money unless it was to improve the channel. Like I want you to pay and get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like if you guys paid I don't even like saying that. You know what I mean? I feel weird saying it, but like if for example I had like a Patreon and was making money for it and it allowed me to in a few years maybe stop teaching English or maybe just working part-time as an English teacher or still doing both but still just having more money to be able to experience more things, to travel further, to just do more crazy stuff, that would happen. And I again haven't really thought any of that through yet because this is still so new. Japan's still so new. Like I said, I'm not a master in Japanese. I'm not a master of Japanese history or culture or anything like that. I'm an idiot, but I'm a motivated idiot. And I'm stupid enough to leave my country and pick up a new language and basically pack my entire life into a suitcase and come live here. So it's like an idiot abroad, I guess could be my name or whatever. But fucking, that's a show actually. I like that show. It's on Netflix. I'm so stupid. Thank you guys. I said it 20 times, bottom of my heart. I know that you guys have comments going, and I apologize that I probably didn't get to all the questions, but we did questions for like an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to scroll to like the very, very, very bottom, I guess, and just say some final thoughts. And I'm actually exhausted, but I'm meeting, I've got a date later, so that'll be fun. That'll be another Japanese thing, dating in Japan. Let's make a video about that. Let's make a video about the dating life in Japan. I've done a couple dates when I was studying abroad, and they're fun. They're a lot of fun. There's a lot of it's an adult playground out here. I don't mean that in like a sexual way, you know what I mean, but like just things that you can go do as an adult for a date or something like that. There's just endless restaurants and just it's a lot of fun. So that's later. So I think I'm probably going to wrap this up, but let me scroll down to the bottom of the comments, say some final goodbyes to you guys. Again, please, I'm going to start plugging shit because this is the end here, but please follow if you're interested, if you like the SoundCloud or anything like that. Follow on SoundCloud. I think this video, I'm going to upload the story. So for those listening on SoundCloud, thank you. I cut out all the Q&A stuff, so if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to try and see if I can cut that out. I think I can, because I think this is recording, so we'll figure it out. If I can, I'm going to put it on SoundCloud, so it's just the story. But please follow me as well on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. On Instagram, although I don't follow back, if you guys do comment, I answer back on the comments, and if you guys send a direct message, I almost always reply to those. Sometimes there's a lot and I can't get to them right away, so please have patience or whatever, but you can message me there. Twitter, of course, as well. My Twitter is really small, so maybe show me some love on there, or maybe give me some advice on, like, I don't know, again, people who know me, they know I'm not a Twitter guy, so I don't really know, like, how people normally do it. I actually don't like study. I maybe should look and see how other people use Twitter and then kind of follow that. Like, do I post once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day? I used to be an Instagram daily post, just like I'll post 1 a day, and I thought that was a good way to do it. But Snapchat, however, I'm on that shit like no tomorrow. So get me on, if you want to just see me, like, you might get some embarrassing videos, so I don't want to ever, like, offend anyone or post anything, like, bad. But you might get some videos of me when I'm out, like, drinking or at a club or something with some friends. And I hope that's okay. Please follow me on that. I basically just post the story. And I actually did a series. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, unless I had someone to help me. But I did 2 hours once. And I said, whoever snaps me, I will personally reply with a snap, like a video or a picture, like responding to what you're at. Like, hey, Erica Bro, I love your channel. Do you have any advice for this? And I would, like, reply, like, hey, so-and-so. So I might get flooded now with snaps or something, but when I did that for 2 hours, and it was, like, it was really, really difficult, but it was a lot of fun. So maybe if I had someone help me, like if they held the phone, and I don't know, something like that. I have so many ideas, and I think the channel over the next 2 years is going to see a lot more new content, a lot more interesting content, and a lot of very, as professional as I can make it, content. So I hope that you guys stick around and just hold on for another couple months here as I get ready, because the next 2 or 3 months are going to be pretty, although it's relaxed, you know, for me graduating, my classes are almost done. I'm still going to be studying Japanese, and I'm getting ready to move to Japan. A lot of stuff to do, a lot of goodbyes to do, and a lot of things like that. And so please hang on for another couple months. Again, podcasts will still be coming pretty infrequently. Maybe I was doing once a week, and I think I can still do once a week, but sometimes I can't, so just bear in mind, if I can't, I'll probably post on Twitter or something like that. But again, small channel right now. I'm just kind of getting things started. Please follow me, and maybe if this channel grows in the future, you guys will be the founders of some big thing. Not that I ever expected, and still don't really expect it to get to, but just seeing the support from you guys and how much you guys say you like the channel makes me think that I can maybe do it. And I see other channels that have, like, you know, 40, 50, 60, 100, 300 million subscribers that live in Japan, and I see the content they make, and I say, I can do that. I can totally do that. So maybe in the future I can meet with them and do collabs, and if you guys have recommendations or personally are YouTubers who would love to maybe, I think if I was to do an initial collab on my channel, it'd be like this, like get someone in a room and, like, all right, let's talk, and just, like, have an interview. But if you have any ideas or something, feel free to message me. My email is also on my YouTube channel. I think it's, what is it now? Because I have a few emails, but I think it's ericabroadjapan@gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up there. And I'm now going to scroll down to the bottom of these comments and thank you guys again, because that was a long story, and I've been wanting to tell that story for a long time, and I've been wanting to announce the job, that whole story of, like, having the interview and, like, getting offered a position and stuff. I wanted to tell it for a long time, but I didn't want to tell it if I wasn't going to get the job, because it'd be embarrassing to have that forever on YouTube, like, I'm getting this new job, and then I don't. So that's, I mean, I guess it's still a possibility that something comes up, but now that I have a written signed contract, I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm going to get the job unless there's a visa issue. So I'm working really hard now and going to the Japanese American Embassy when I get home to really make sure there's nothing missing. I'm meeting with all my teachers and all my education advisors to just promise me I'm graduating. Like, this is happening, right? Like, I need this in writing, and I actually did get it in writing. So feeling pretty confident. I'm playing my cards safe. Now we scroll. So these are all the questions and nice things getting skipped. I think it's is it loading? It froze. Oh no, it froze. Okay, here we go. And here we go. Thanks for adding me on Snapchat. Hey guys. Duo collab with Simon and Martina. Simon, I'm making a list. I'm not gonna checking it twice. Simon and Martina. Rachel and June. I think doing a Rachel and June collab is everyone's dream, as they are one of the biggest channels. So, oh, someone had a question earlier about what my work week is with the job. I should answer that. Sorry and if you're still here, holy shit, thank you for hanging out. My work week, because it's what's called a juku, which is basically a cram school that kids go to after their main classes are done. Here, I'm gonna throw this so that I don't miss any future stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. I am basically going to be starting kind of the afternoon as the kids show up after their school is done. And so my day starts at 2 p.m. and goes till 10 p.m. So 10 p.m. it is pretty late, but like it's manageable. I can if I go home and if I'm going to be living or trying to find an apartment within living distance or within walking distance of the job, which in Japan there's so many apartments, it's stupid. You could literally pick like not only just like the amenities you want in the apartment, but like, oh, I want to live next to this convenience store instead of that one. I want to live next to this grocery store instead of that grocery store. You can pick that shit. I want to live next to this train station so that I can walk 20 feet, get on, and go to Namba in 5 minutes, or just bike there if I'm in the mood. I can pick that. So again, assuming all this stuff goes well, I'm going to be living probably kind of in between Namba and where my job is, near Tennoji Station. So that whenever, I'm not going to be going to Namba every night partying because I need to save money now. I need to like live on my own as an adult here. And I'm pretty broke after school. So it's time to start paying back school. And my work week though, yeah, from Monday through Friday is 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Again, it's great because even though it ends late, like if, say for example, like coworkers are like, all right, we're getting drinks after work for a couple hours and some food, we can do that and I can sleep in. But the reason I'm excited is I have like 4 or 5 hours every morning, maybe 4 hours every morning that I could use for YouTube. Like I'm gonna schedule specific days. Like, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 10, have some breakfast, or no, let's say like I wake up at like 8. I get a lot of sleep, wake up at 8 in the morning, shower, get some breakfast, and from 9:30 till 1 o'clock, I'm gonna edit. Boom, that's my schedule right there. If I just do that like every day, videos, I think I can start churning them out. And again, I'll be living in Japan. So I can, if I need content, or it's like, oh, I totally wish I recorded this, you just go back and film it. I also got a new camera, a DSLR camera that can shoot very nice time lapse. Up until this point, I've used all GoPro and this like webcam here. So although they work, and I'm still going to continue using the GoPro for when I'm like doing like kind of the discreet stuff, because I don't like to have a camera and put it in like Japanese people's faces as I'm doing stuff. Like I'm recording your country. Like I'd rather just have like a little selfie stick and occasionally pop it out when I like that. I don't like to narrate anymore while I'm walking around really, unless I'm alone. I just like to film it, and then in post I'll like narrate it and explain it or discuss it kind of like this, like in the camera. Yeah. So so Monday through Friday is that, and then on Saturdays I do have to go in, but it's only a couple hours to prep for the next week. But it is only a couple hours, and again, if I'm living there, and at first I was like, man, I have to go to work 6 days a week. But again, I am not. Believe me, guys, I'm not complaining here. It's like a full-time job. There's even overtime pay because in Japan, like a lot of jobs will work people overtime but not pay them for it. It's part of the Japanese work culture is a little fucked up sometimes, and just meeting my boss and the coworkers and my friend who vouches for all of them, who all say that like this is the company you want to work for. It's very much not like a Japanese style company. It is though, but they're like nice. I'm feeling very hopeful and very grateful, and I'm going to give it my best, give it my all, and work my ass off toward making this work. Even though I haven't initially studied how to teach English or anything, me being a native English speaker is an asset to their school. And especially as a person who is studying and will eventually be able to speak a much better Japanese, that's also very helpful for them, of course, when meeting other parents and things like that. So that's the work week to answer that question. So yeah, let's see. Add me on Snapchat. Okay, I'm adding all of you guys. If all you guys add me, I'm adding you right after this is done. I'm going to add it all. You should do another live chat, but answer questions from your Snapchat. That would be fun. Let's do that next. Like maybe not next time, but like sometime. I'm gonna set that up. It's like okay, it's like Snapchat Sundays or some shit like that, where you guys ask instead of doing this chat, I read them from the Snapchat and can reply via Snap / That's a good idea because then I don't have to individually snap back. Although I probably will. I'll give like a thumbs up, like thanks for the question or whatever. I can now just reply. See, this is why you guys are here. You guys are fucking awesome. Can you collab with Kathy Cat? Cat. See, a lot of these people I've never heard of, and I don't mean that negatively. It's just that I don't actually watch a whole lot of other YouTubers. Can you tell your date? I said hi from Seth. I will tell you said hi, Seth. Do one with Kim Dow. Man, you guys know a lot of YouTubers. I'm going to have to make some phone calls. Again, I haven't wanted to promote collabing until I actually am living here and like have time to do it. So once I move here and like set up, I'm going to probably just send out mass emails and chains like, hey, I want to do this. This is who I am. If you ever want to do a collab, let me know. And maybe hopefully I'll get some responses. Do one with Only in Japan. I do know Only in Japan. I feel like that's a channel that would be hard because they're actually very, very popular. I think they produce incredibly good content, by the way, if any of you know them or want to tell them that I said that. Holy shit, their channel's cool. That's the one with the I hope I'm getting this right. Is this the same channel that is Life Where I'm From? Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. The Life Where I'm From one, I thought that there were two. Only in Japan and Life Where I'm From were like the father owns both channels. But if I'm wrong, correct me. Doing with Canada Gene. I know Canada Gene, and I'm not a drama guy. But I have seen that she's gotten involved in a lot of drama. And to be completely honest, as a guy who doesn't want to get trying to avoid drama as much as possible, even me saying this probably is drama. I think I'm going to steer clear from that for now. It just seems I've seen some of the people talking about it, and it seems dangerous. Seems a little so. But that being said, she seems really nice. I'm sure she's great. I know her Japanese is more fluent than mine will probably ever be. But for now, Shinzo Abe. Man, you guys have a lot of suggestions. Thank you, guys. With the anime man. There was one guy, and if he happens to be watching, I doubt he is. He's a guy on YouTube who does piano for covers of anime stuff. And if you know the name, please tell me. I think he was on my comment saying like, hey, if you ever want to do a collab, let me know. Or if you ever want to meet, he said. He said if you ever want to meet. And I apologize that I forget his channel name exactly, but he seemed really nice. And he actually has he has like 300,000 subscribers or something, 600? He had a lot. Maybe not that much, but it was a lot. Like, I was like floored. I was like, oh, whoa, holy shit, this guy's actually like a celebrity. Where are you taking? Oh, I can't share where I'm taking. Maybe in the future I can say the name. Not that it's a secret, but I can't share where I'm going on the date. No, that's a secret. That's a hush hush. It's a fancy restaurant though. It's more expensive than I normally pay. How expensive the Stardust cost to travel and get settled in Osaka? That's kind of a broad question to be honest, but it all depends if you have a job waiting for you. Because it's not that I'm like saving up money to move here. It's that I know I have a job. So like, I guess if I'm saving up money to like get started and wait for my like paychecks to come in, it's like your plane ticket, which can be anywhere from $500 to $1,000 if you're doing round trip or direct flight. You got to pay for usually like your first 2 months in advance in the apartment up front before you even get a paycheck. I'm basically going to be trying to show up to Japan with I think about my plane ticket's paid for. I'm basically going to save at least $2,000 at least. And that's for like rent, first month's everything, gas, signing up. I'm going to get TV because I want to watch Japanese TV because it's some of the best programming you can watch to learn a language because they usually, most of their television is about Japan. So I'm getting loud again. Most of their content is about Japan, so they travel. It's educational. It's like they go to we're going to like even for Japanese it's educational. For me it's way more. It's like we're going to go to this place, try it out, and they interview people, and they always have like the Jimaku, the subtitles, so I can read the kanji and practice that. It's incredible. Like even at my Airbnb, every morning I just watch like an hour and I learn like words. So like I can see myself if I'm living here, like on a weekend, I'm just gonna watch an hour of TV and just write down words I don't know and look them up later, and I can't wait. So I'm gonna save, I think, about $2,000, but if I can, I'm gonna save more. But you know, love your channel, says Sensei. Thank you, man. I had a date tonight. Wait, that I got home from just a little while ago. Made out. All right. Good luck, man. I want to go to TransFab, but I'm broke. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm broke as I know it sounds like I'm like I mean I am kind of about to start living my dream, but I'm broke as fuck. What's your method for memorizing? Another time. Thomas Jefferson. Hey now. I hope that's not. Is that? I mean, you're joking, right? Sorry. It looks like I'm promoting, but I feel like you'd like it. What did you say, Chris? Wait, what did he say? Did I already answer you? Please watch my Japan video of trip to Japan. It's like a vlog site. Well, I'm adding all YouTubers here, so feel free to promote. I'm asking, so it's okay. Eric, maybe you'll get a back massage from your date, since you said your back was hurting earlier. Dude, that'd be fucking sick. I feel like an old man. My back hurt. I actually need to go and pay for an expensive like massage, like a real one. Maybe like once a month until I lead up to Japan. My back is fucked. I need to get a better chair situation and learn how to sit like a human, not a caveman, because I'm always hunched over, and I've been editing on a computer for the last 7 years. Oh man, it's bad. Are you aware there's a dick festival in Japan? There is a dick festival, and when it happens, I'm gonna make a video. I love a dub. Your channel, says Just Spencer. Thank you. Ask Japanese is the one you want to collab with. Ask Japanese. I think I've seen that channel. He's like different. He's similar with Yuta. I know Yuta. I have him in mind as well. I know he's from Tokyo, so maybe if I go to Tokyo, I can get a. Kim Da, I wrote her down. Shinzo Abe, I wrote him down. Marasi 8. Man, I seriously have like 20 names here. Holy crap! I'm gonna have to do some research when I get home. Oh, Shinzo Abe, the president of Japan. See, I was gonna say, I was like, isn't that the prime minister? But I figured it's a common name. The prime minister. You guys are making me look like an idiot. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. See, but to my defense, I did know that. Like, you might think I'm lying, but I'm not. Only in Japan and Life Where I'm From are two completely different channels, but they know each other. Oh, okay. Okay. Can I collab with PewDiePie? One can only dream. The Ishtar is the piano guy. Yeah. I watched some of his stuff. It's cool. Again, I'm not a huge anime guy, but he's fucking good. And I would love to meet him. Have you ever thought about becoming a polyglot in the future? I don't know what that is. Yes, I talked about the working visa. I think it's a year. Oh, I guess I didn't really talk about it. Basically, to get a working visa, you need to have a company that already says they want to hire you. So they're your sponsor. So my company is basically saying on my behalf that we want this guy to come and move into our country and work here. So I'm filling out a certificate of eligibility right now, and I turn that in, and if that approves, I am then approved to be able to apply for the visa, and then I apply for the visa and I take it. The certificate of eligibility, or the COE, is apparently the hardest part, so I'm really nervous for it, but it's basically, as long as the company vouches for you, I think you're good. Still live. Maybe do a collab with Baidengaru, one of the most popular English YouTubers. Huh. Baidengaru. By the way, this channel, okay, for those who are kind of sticking around, I'm kind of done talking. I told my story. This video is going to be going online or whatever, so if you guys are like done and you don't want to hear anymore, the stories are kind of done, I guess, so I'm just kind of answering these questions and seeing all your guys' suggestions. So thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Thank you again to anyone who donated. Again, when I was starting, I didn't even know donating was a thing on YouTube yet, and I said it before, but I don't want to be, whenever I go on Twitch TV and see what they do, all they do is sit there and say like, thanks for the resub, man. Hey, thanks for the shout out. Hey, thanks for the money, man. And they do stupid shit for money just to make money. And I get it. It makes money, and it's all the power to them. And they're making more money than I'll ever make. But it's not good content. Like, I'm watching it and I'm like, this is boring. Like, this guy's literally just bragging about how much money he's making, and like when he gets the random $10,000 donation, he like dances for an hour, and like it's so stupid. But that being said, I'll never not say thank you to a fucking donation. Are you kidding me? Thank you guys so much. I wasn't expecting it, but if you guys feel bad that I'm like, why don't you, like, you don't seem very appreciative, like you don't talk too much, that's why, is I don't want to look like I expect and demand donations, because I don't. Hence why I haven't thought of that's my timer. I have like 20 minutes. That's my timer. Well, I guess we have been talking for like hours, and my time is about up, so I think I'm going to head home. I'm really like gross and sweaty, especially in this net cafe. I'll make a video in the future of a net cafe, because this is a cool experience, and I kind of came here, and all I've done is just sit here and do this, but like it's cheap, and it's 24 hours. So actually, if you need kind of like a hotel at like 2 a.m, if you're like miss your train or something, I'm gonna come here. This is pretty nice. It's not bad. Okay, I think I'm about wrapped up here. Ask Michaela for a collab. And if any of you guys are like diehard fans of any of these YouTubers and happen to know them like better, or can like say like, hey, there's this guy Eric Abroad, he's interested, let him, like, if you can talk on my behalf, like, by all means, please do so. Odigo Travel. Polyglot is someone who can speak several languages. Oh, maybe. Right now, Japanese and English are kind of all I'm interested in. It's 4 a.m. in New York. Peace out. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see this channel boom. Remember the little people. Hey, these are not little people. You guys report. This is the... I think you mean the JLPT test. I haven't done it yet. And I will in the future. Will I ever consider voice acting in anime? I'll say this. Never thought about that. Not even close. But you should do Patreon. Yeah, people keep suggesting Patreon. In the future. Like in the future we'll look into that. But for now, like, thank you for any of the donations you guys do here. Like, for real, it's fucking awesome. I was just gonna say, I'm not an anime guy by what is considered an anime guy. I do like it though. But if someone came up to me and said, hey, we're gonna pay you, and even for free, can you voice in an anime? I would sign up immediately. Are you kidding me? And I would make a video on that. That would be fucking awesome. Because then I could like show you guys. So I told you guys I'm not an anime dude. I don't care what it is. If you get paid to do any kind of voice acting, I would absolutely do it. That's funny. Tinder in Japan. Yabai. Where's Astra new playthrough? Oh, I did do the playthrough. Astra, not a full playthrough. We played it for like a couple hours, and I realized I suck at the game, and that I kind of don't really like streaming games as much as I... Yeah. You're coming to Sapporo? Yeah, I want to go to Hokkaido. I really, really do. I actually met some kids who were coming from Hokkaido to visit my university, and I have their information, so I'm going to call them. Dude, Isaiah comes in with another $2 donation. Isaiah, I'm almost done, I promise. But holy shit, you're like God damn it. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Did I miss any donations, by the way? Because I scrolled. I'm going to scroll back up. I don't think I did. I really apologize if I did. Because they're not like popping up anymore as they were. If I did, I'm so sorry. I know Charlotte in Japan. I've heard of her channel. Thanks for creating content. Thank you so much, Lloyd. Again, thank you guys for sticking around. I know it's late, but it's going to be uploaded for those who don't want to stay up or whatever. So thank you guys. I think I'm gonna tune out. And again, I'm gonna do a quick scroll up to make sure I didn't miss any like donations if there were any. I don't think there were. But I was talking there for a while. Oh, the chat's like, it's not loading anymore. Look at that. So you see that? I can't scroll up anymore. It's like not. It's like it's gone. So I really hope there wasn't. But if there was, know that I'm thanking you right now for however much it was. I can't see how much like I make or have made or whatever. Again, I don't even know that was a thing. But I gotta go. I got about 20 minutes until this thing is done. So I'm gonna shut down my computer, pack up, and go home and shower, get a nap in, and go out. So check out Snapchat because I'm gonna be posting on there. It's gonna be a pretty fancy dinner, and I don't eat fancy, so this is gonna be fun. And I'll be back in America in like 2 days. And podcasts and shit will continue, and I'll keep you guys posted. Love you guys so much. Thank you for sticking around, especially those who stuck up with the whole thing. Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. This is the annoying part. Just follow me, please subscribe. And I need to do collabs. Global just donated $5. Thank you. But I gotta go. Love you guys. Seriously. I guess I was gonna say Jamata, but now that I'm in Osaka, I gotta change it to Hona for a while. So 皆さん見てくれて本当にありがとうございました。これからうまくいけるようにで先生のお仕事でも頑張ります。これから頑張りましょう一緒に楽しみにしてます。ほな。